full live commentary as ever here on Sportsound and BBC Radio Scotland. It is Hibernian against Rangers, Scottish Cup semi-final up for grabs. Billy Dodds, John Collins and Thomas Duncan.
Thanks, Richard. Evening, everyone. The light fading here at Easter Road, the stands filling up as the punters take their seats, and I think it's fair to say we're anticipating some fireworks in some shape or form. This game usually delivers. Admittedly, most of the goals recently have all come from Rangers. They've won the last 5 meetings, scoring at least 3 in each of them. But Hibs are a bit of a different prospect in recent weeks. 5 unbeaten, new signings making an impact. Defensively a bit more assured. This is going to be their biggest test, their true test of how much progress they have made. Swept aside 7-0 over the 2 games against Rangers this season. What have they got now as they bid for a place in the semi-finals of the Scottish Cup? Rangers, of course, still fighting on 3 fronts. The League Cup already secured. It could be a truly special season for Philippe Clement and his team. And who would have said that at the start of this campaign, before Michael Beale lost his job? Both teams lining up, getting ready for action. The Hibs team: Marshall, Cadden, Fish, Bushiri, Obita, Mariah Welsh, Triantis, Newell, Boyle, Marcondes and my leader. Rangers unchanged from the team which drew with Benfica in Lisbon. Butland, Tavernier, Goldson, Suter, Yilmaz, Lundstrom, Diamonde, Lawrence, Sterling, Silva and Dessers. And Hibs preparing to kick us off. The referee is Stephen McLean. He puts his whistle to his lips, checks his watch, and he gets things underway. And a huge roar from the stands as Hibs immediately fling it forward, and John Suter heads out of defence, and Cyril Dessers has gone down in a heap in the centre circle already, and Stephen McLean doesn't stop play, and Hibs come forward down the left-hand side now. Who mile leader midway through the Rangers half. He slips it to Mariah Welsh out on the left-hand side of the box. Positive start from Hibs. Little reverse pass is poor, straight to Tavernier, who clears it up towards Dessers, gets a nudge from Bushiri, breaks for Will Fish, who's taken a touch back towards his own goal and knocks it back to David Marshall. And that's a really poor pass back, and it's gone out for a Rangers corner.
Sloppy from Fish. He's got to be doing better there.
Absolutely, and the ball was bobbling about and he just couldn't get it under control, and he rather hurriedly, under pressure, fired it behind, and an early chance for Rangers to test the Hibs rear guards. David Marshall giving some instructions. There's 2 balls on the park at the moment. Only 1 minute played, and a good chance for Rangers here. Corner about to be delivered. Hands go up. The referee is happy with what's happening in the box. It's to the front post, flicked on by Silva, and Fish has to head it away from goal just a few yards out. Comes back in, it's bobbling about. Hibs can't clear it. Mariah Welsh gets a foot in, and then Obita lets it run behind, and it's a corner. He thought he'd taken a nick off a Rangers player. The referee says no, corner, and Obita screams at Stephen McLean.
Well, the slack pass back's brought the nerves, isn't it? And then it's the in-swinger from that far side. It's Fabio Silva gets a flick on it, and I think Matondo thinks he's going to knock in, but Fish, he gets him, well, gets his, I was going to say gets his team off the hook, gets himself off the hook after the slack pass back. But good start from Rangers, right in the front foot.
Tavernier's going to take on this near side. Hibs under pressure early doors. Right footed delivery, again it's near post, again Silva is challenging. Marcondes got tighter to him this time though, and Silva could only fire it behind. Hibs goal kick, but a good start from Rangers. But you have to say, John Collins, Hibs causing all their own problems.
Yep, the manager will be really disappointed. The last thing you want to do is give Rangers any incentive. Sloppy passes, easy corner, all of a sudden they've been sitting in their own box the last 2 minutes. You need to get up the pitch.
Here's David Marshall, and Hibs are looking to play out, but Rangers pressing high and opt to go long. Silva's nodded out for a throw-in on this near side, and it's taken to the feet of Triantis, back to Will Fish, dinks it forwards. It's a good challenge from Boyle. Marcondes goes after it. Suter is there first, and there's an offside flag against Emiliano Marcondes, who's made a good impact since his January move. Of course, scored in the Edinburgh Derby, a match that Hibs probably should have won, undone by that controversial penalty call in the ends. Here come Rangers. Dessers looks to flick it on first time. Breaks for Triantis. Out to Myolida on the left-hand touchline in Rangers territory. He's jinking about. He's pursued by Dujon Sterling, and then Dessers closes down Bashiri, but it's a good first-time pass across to centre-half partner Will Fish. A couple of touches back to David Marshall. Marshall, right foot along the grass to Fish. Goes long, he's looking for the run of Martin Boyle, and it's going to bounce in. It's going to go into the path of Martin Boyle, right-hand side, and the flag goes up. Offside again, but you can see Hibs' intent is to try and get in behind Rangers.
Well, it's always going to be on that pass. If Rangers push up and leave space behind them, Martin Boyle's got the pace and suitor on the turn, that's for sure.
Rangers.
Sorry, Thomas, I think it's advantageous that Hibs start really quickly. I know Rangers are a good start, but they're up on it because they've got to test Rangers, see if the midweek effects is getting to them, and especially the pace of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Philippe Clement going with an unchanged team, very rare for him. Usually likes to rotate and use his squads, keep players happy, keep the legs fresh. Here's Diamonde into Lawrence, and he's robbed, and Nectarios Triantis goes back to David Marshall in the Hibs goal. Here's Bushiri, who's been good for Hibs since coming back from the Africa Cup of Nations, and always offers a good option on the ball, but sometimes got an error in him as Will Fish goes down under Tom Lawrence's challenge. And as the ref giving the free kick, he has, right on the touchline down in front of us. Goalless, 4.5 minutes in. Rangers with a closest we've had to a chance, that Silva near post header, but that's well laid off to Marcondes on the edge of the box. He helped it back in towards Maelida. Tavernier is under it, he's jostling with Maelida, and then Obita claims for the corner and gets it, and a chance for Hibs to respond.
Good few minutes for Hibs. They're getting the ball off it. Rangers half looking sharp. I'm liking the look in Maelida. He's got good control, takes the ball in, takes care of the ball. You see he's got lots of self-belief.
Just asked the question, and Tavernier didn't handle the two headers very well, and they just lobbed over them, then they have a chase on, and Hibs get the corner.
Mizia Maelida scored here last week against Ross County on loan from Hertha Berlin. He's played at a high level, top flight of France, Germany, and you can see the quality he has. Hibs waiting to take this corner. Marcondes is offering a short option. I don't know what's going on here. The referee is maybe asking Hibs to get on with it. They swapped the taker, and Marcondes has gone over to take it with the right foot rather than Newell with the left. Going to be an in-swinger by the look of it as Marcondes takes it. Is to the near post, but Goldson's there. It's not the best header, it's up in the air, bounces on the edge of the box. Newell gets a header on it. Maelida, good touch, uses his body. He's going away from goal towards the touchline. Little shimmy, gets to the byline. Lawrence does well, gets the tackle in, and it breaks for Yilmaz. Rangers playing next to their own byline as then will go long, but it's intercepted by Triantis, and then it's headed forward. Maelida, strike, Suter claims for handball. It was a block, his arms look by his side from this vantage point. The Hibs fans appealing as Rangers break up the pitch, and Fabio Silva crosses halfway, goes down under the foul of Triantis, and a yellow card, an early one for the Hibs midfielder.
Well, he just never had the legs to keep up with him, so he's had to pull him. But bad getting an early booking at this stage of the game for a defensive midfield player. He's got to be very careful now.
Going back's not a penalty, is it? It happens by the side, and then I thought Will Fish, I think, hit the deck, looked as if he was kicking the head, but got himself straight back up, so obviously there was no contact there. Hibs fans are a wee bit frustrated because they break. Triantis gets a yellow, but I think all of the calls were correct, Thomas.
Yeah, John Suter, he just stood his ground really, didn't he? His arms were by his side. Hard to see from here. It may have struck his arm, but it definitely wasn't out from his body. And the referee waved play on, and Rangers go short with a free kick. Here's Conor Goldson. Long diagonal into the box. Silva makes a run, and he gets something on it. He was always stretching though, and it goes into the arms of David Marshall. 0-0.
Terrific ball from Goldson. 30 yards, 40 yards past his Silva. Inches away from being a perfect pass.
It's a brilliant run, isn't it, from out to in, and he gets inside Can, but Can did ever so well. We were questioning, look, what is it going to be like defensively? He stuck with Silva all the way there, and they had to. It was such an important cover.
Here's John Suter at the back for Rangers. Drives away from Marcondes. Right foot pass to Yilmaz, who touches it over the halfway line. Boyle's right onto it, but misses the tackle. And then Yilmaz floats it across. He misses Tom Lawrence. It goes to Bashiri. Heads it to Maelida. Again, he manages to win it, but he was crowded out by 3 or 4 blue jerseys there. And then Marcondes gets something on Goldson's loose pass, but it deflects away. Goldson goes after it and shells it into the stands. And that's slack from Conor Goldson. Of course, scored that own goal over in Lisbon, which resulted in the 2-2 draw. was a bit nervy, that one.
Well, you see Hibs are definitely confronting Rangers right at the top of the pitch. They're trying to press them, not sitting off them.
And Rangers playing it from the back. As Butland goes to the right hand side of the box, and Goldson floats one forward to Dujon Sterling, and he looks to turn around Obita, but Obita stood his ground and it runs out for a throw in. But he's been impressive. Dujon Sterling's played in 5 positions this season and looked accomplished in all of them. And touch forwards from Will Fish, and he's gone for the long diagonal out to the right hand side. Here's Chris Cadden. He's one-on-one with Yilmaz. He's going to try and drive past him. Yilmaz uses his body really well, takes a touch in the byline, rolls it along to Suter, who chips it up into the path of Silva. That's wonderful play out from the back from Rangers, and then it's under hit though. The pass into midfield, and here's Triantis up to the edge of the box, left-footed shot blocked by Goldson, and then Rangers look to break. It's frantic stuff at Easter Road, as we expected it might be.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, does it? And then it's good, great play from Rangers defensively, starting with Yilmaz in a tight area, but comes to Silva, he just gives the ball away and Yul's shot's blocked.
Here's Marcondes up to the left-hand corner of the Rangers box, into Mailida on the left-hand side. He's going to run at Tavernier. He's into the box, throws a step over in. Tavernier gets a challenge in. Mailida wins it back. Then it's Sterling who gets across. Diamonde gets something on it on the edge of the box. It's up towards Dessers. He's tussling with Bashiri. Rangers players appealing for a foul, but that just looked like good defending from Rocky Bashiri. Used his body well.
Yeah, 2 strong guys, wasn't it? And Rocky Bashiri come out on top, well on top.
Here's Yilmaz, threads it to Silva, who's over the halfway line. He's driving up towards the left-hand corner of the Hibs box. He's coming in on the right foot, tries to thread one into the box, but it's easily picked off by Will Fish. Lundstrom miscontrols, and just a few signs of maybe a bit sluggish from Rangers when they get it at the back a wee bit. Here's Marcondes, Newell 1-2 with Marcondes, and fires it to Martin Boyle, who's driving through the middle of the pitch. He's up towards Goldson, touches it away, then he goes down under a challenge, but Obita's on the left hand side of the box, and he almost got the dangerous cross in, but it's cut out by Tavernier, and out for a throw in on the far side. 0-0, 10 played.
Hibs looking really sharp. Marcondes, you can tell he's a good football player.
Composure, wasn't it?
Composure, good touch, bounces it off teammates, gives them no, he wants it back, and his teammates, you can tell they know he's a good player. They're giving him it every time.
Hit the final pass as well, because when he was driving across the pitch, he could have just played it wide left, no problem at all, but a little turn back, 1-2 as John says, and then hit the killer pass into Boyle.
Here's Ridvan Yilmaz, left-hand side on the halfway line. Takes a turn back. He's looking for an option as Hibs try and squeeze a little bit. Marcondes goes towards Suter, and it's back to Jack Butland. Well, Hibs might not have had much success against Rangers recently, but they have had decent cup success. Their last win against Rangers at 3-1 triumph at Hampden, the League Cup semi. Martin Boyle's hat-trick as Rangers come forward. Here's Sterling, right-hand corner of the box. Pass it out to the right-hand side. Cross comes in. Bashiri's there. Takes a touch. Lifts it to Marcondes, who cushions the header. He was looking for Mariah Welch, but it runs for Mailida anyway. He loses out. Sterling, right-hand side now with Lawrence. Turns back, gives it into Tavernier, right-hand side. Here's Sterling. Obita's in front of him. Rolls it back with the studs. Nudges it back up the touchline to Tom Lawrence. He's driving infield, gives it to Diamonde, and it's maybe the right idea, but it goes through to David Marshall. 0-0.
It was the right idea. Out the corner of his eye, he's seen Tavernier making the run, and he just hasn't got the right connection, but it was the right idea.
If he gets a contact, Tavernier's through, isn't he? It's unlucky from Diamonde.
David Marshall thought about the short option. He goes long. Tavernier gives it to Joe Newell. Maybe through Hibs half, and then here's Mailida again, shrugs off one defender and tries to slip it into the path of Nectarios Triantis, but it's doesn't go to feet. And here's Yilmaz, Silva, and Lundstrom curls the pass with the right foot to Tavernier. 6 or 7 yards in the Hibs half. He goes back to Connor Golds in the centre circle. Rangers maybe just trying to calm this down a little bit, but then Suter puts a good pass along the grass to Yilmaz, gives it to Silva in the half space, and then back to Yilmaz on the left hand side, and he's curled a lovely ball into Dessers, who got a right foot on it. He couldn't guide it on target.
I'm really impressed with Yilmaz. When he gets into that final third, he plays little passes inside, but he makes another angle to receive it. When he gets it, he just shapes the ball in beautifully there, bending away for the goalkeeper. Perfect for the striker.
It's good composed play overall, wasn't it? Yilmaz, Fabio Silva, and then back to Yilmaz. The cross comes in. I think Dessers should be throwing himself at it and go for the diving header. Too busy worrying about the man, the defender beside him.
Goalless here at Easter Road. It's finished 1-1 in the big Premier League clash between Man City and Liverpool at Anfield. Man City in front of that one. Liverpool getting a precious point in the title race down south. Here at Easter Road, it is Hibs 0, Rangers 0. We've played 13 minutes in this Scottish Cup quarter-final, the third of them, as Diamonde pings one to Silva on the left-hand side. He's one-on-one with Cadden. He's going to take him on. Gets the cross in, and it's just in front of Mohamed Diamonde.
Good play from Silva. One thing in his mind when he gets the ball, attack Cadden. The good thing about him is he can go both ways. He can come in inside and he's right. He's just showed there. He's just as comfortable going to his left. Whipped at him.
I know he tipped it, but we look as if we've got a right good game on here. We've talked about Marcondes and at times Moyalida getting up the left-hand side, but Rangers, brilliant from Diamonde, just hits the switch. Silva just put too much on the cross, too much pace, so Dessers was in there for a tap-in.
Here is John Souttar, the back for Rangers, who just are starting to get on the ball and control the possession a bit more. It was all a bit frantic in the first 10 minutes, and just as I say that, John Souttar shells one straight out the park.
Commentators curse.
Oh dear, never fails, never fails.
Just say it's got to be a poor game. It'll be brilliant.
Yeah, it's been absorbing in the opening 15 minutes. And John Souttar appeals for handball, and Marcondes has gone for an ambitious one about 35 yards out. He just swung the right boot at it, but it bounced harmlessly into the arms of Jack.
He was right, it bounced up nicely for him, and the keeper was 15 yards off his line. Unfortunately, never caught it.
Here Souttar will perhaps try again. This time goes shorter to Yilmaz, who's had a bright start. Finds Silva, who's also been lively. Back to Souttar as Hibs get forward. Mariah Welsh is heading down on Butland. The goalkeeper goes short to Goldson in his box. Not the best pass back to Butland. It bobbled and he's under pressure on his goal line. It's in and off the post. Moyalida, so close.
Brilliant pressing from Hibs. Butland a little bit too casual, but I love Moyalida there. He's really determined. A whisker away from embarrassing Jack Butland into a goal.
But what they're doing, I mean, the pass back from the centre-half to Butland to Conor Goldson, who's had a bad time of it during the week. He's not won it. It's a poor pass back to Butland again. He takes too many touches. Moyalida's closing him and just hits it off the post. It's a huge let-off.
Yeah, the pass wasn't great from Goldson, but Butland had time to just get rid of it. Obviously wanted to try and play it, and here comes a corner from Hibs. Marcondes into the near post, it bounces, Bashiri gets a shot on it, but it wasn't convincing, and Souttar clears. Here's Obita now under pressure up the other end from Dessers. That's really good play from Jordan Obita, just never lost his composure and rolls it across to Mariah Welsh. Here comes Nathan Mariah Welsh. He barrels back round and goes back to Will Fish. That huge let-off. Bashiri almost dilly-dallies on the ball, almost gets caught from Dessers, and both sides showing good intent to play out, but taking huge risks. Here's Will Fish. Goes into midfield, first time from Triantis. He stood in the ball and slips, but just gets it away to Cadden. Goes back to Fish, and Fabio Silva's gone down. Back on his feet, he's taking a wee knock, but he's limping, and Marcondes tries to put off Tavernier, but he heads it away. Here's Diamonde, helps it forward, he's striding after it. Obita gets there first, comfortably. He's on the left-hand touchline. Shot past to Newell on the halfway line. Goes back to Triantis in the centre circle for Hibs. Still 0-0, 17 minutes just ticked by. Hibs go long towards Cadden, right-hand corner of the box. He wins the header to the feet of Mariah Welsh. Back to Cadden. He's facing away from goal into Joe Newell. Driving towards the byline, Joe Newell is into the box, cuts it back, and Martin Boyle was lurking, but John Souttar got there first and clears.
Terrific play from Hibs down here on the right-hand side. Good football. Newell drives into the box, right foot, good cutback, but nobody there for it. Good play from Hibs.
Good position from Souttar as well, but Newell did ever so well. Direct leaves. I think it was Lundstrom tailing him, and he just couldn't get to him and gets the cross in. As I said, it's end-to-end. It's a very good cup tie.
Joe Newell, 8 assists this season. He's such an influential player. Hibs has only missed the one game through suspension. He's down injured now at the box. He's tying a shoelace. There was something chucked in his direction as well from the away end. I saw it land, and it's just been removed from the pitch. I can't see what it is, but something definitely got thrown from the Rangers fans behind the goal, and it landed about a foot and a half away from Joe Newell. Can't see what it is, but it's brainless stuff.
Not what you want to see, is it? Let's be honest. But he lost his boot when he was crossing that ball, and he was just tying the laces. Asked the referee if I get time to tie the lace. That's what was happening in the object was chucked at him.
Well, he's back on his feet now, Joe Newell, and when we go, it's a Hibs throw in down in front of us in front of the main stands. Newell's going to cross to take the throw because he's also got the long throw in his arsenal. Hibs midfielder. He's drying the ball with a towel down below us. And Hibs with bodies in the box. Marcondes is in there. Cadden's lurking as well. Newell throws it in. Header flicked up from Rangers, and it bounces for Mariah Welsh midway through the Rangers half. Fizzed it into Newell, and he's touched it to Boyle heavy, and then Silva nips in, and then he plays it long immediately looking for Dessers. Obita's back, he's got good legs. Obita is under pressure and then hits it straight at Dessers, and Dessers can drive into the box. He's not got much angle to work with. As Dessers cuts away from Obita, Cyril Dessers, top save from David Marshall. The Hibs again causing all their own issues.
Obita's a very lucky young man. He tried to play it back to the goalkeeper. It wasn't on. It had to go in opposite direction. He's got his goalkeeper, he thanks. That was a brilliant save from David Marshall. Excellent play, I have to say, from Dessers as well. Putting Obita under pressure. The way through, looked to go, he's got shoot with his right foot, chopped onto his left. Made the keeper save there. Good play from Rangers.
Butlered off the hook, a bit off the hook, and then I thought he was just going to slot it and curl it into the far corner, but he turns it again. But that time Marshall's out. It's a brilliant block, but a decent effort, but the shot should have been away earlier. Yeah, the angle kind of favoured the right footer there, but he chopped back. Rangers go short with a corner. Tavernier to Diamonde. Tries to give it back to Tavernier. It's under hit and allowed Martin Boyle to get in and clean it away upfield. Lundstrom's going after it. Maolida is trying to cut down his space, but Lundstrom rolls it to Yilmaz, spreads it to the left, but again Boyle's pace gets there first, and he's told to get to his feet as he hits the deck. Diamonde won the ball, and Lawrence goes back to Lundstrom in the centre circle, spreads it to the right this time. It's Dujon Sterling down the touchline to Tavernier. He's got Joe Newell at his back. Good turn, slips it to Dujon Sterling in the box. He's caught by Obita. Penalty Rangers. And Obita, for the second time in the space of a couple of minutes, got wrong sides, and there was no question he caught Dujon Sterling, and Stephen McLean had no option.
It's clumsy from Obita. He's got to adjust his feet better there. The referee's got no choice. He's clipped his heels.
As soon as his goal side, a wrong side of Obita, you're thinking just stay away from him, son, and he doesn't. He gets too close, his heels clips him, and he goes to ground, and Stephen McLean's called it correctly. The Hibs players are after him, but I don't think anybody can have an argument with that.
He's in a shocking 5 minutes. Obita there with the one earlier on the right hand side here.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness to Sterling, he got clipped once and he actually tried to stay on his feet, because the goal was there for him, and then he got clipped again by Obita, and he actually, it wasn't like he went down, he literally could not stay on his feet.
No, you're 100% right, he did. Unusual modern day football players trying to stay on their feet.
Why are you nudging me when you're doing that?
Oh, you were honest,
Call it
most of the time.
Dark arts, and James Tavernier is going to step up. He's handed the ball by Cyril Dessers. He's scored 13 of his 15 penalties this season. Just the 2 misses from the Rangers captain. David Marshall spreads his arms wide. He's moving about. Hibs fans behind the goal doing their best to put off the Rangers captain. James Tavernier, wide stance, arms by his side. Stephen McLean making sure the Hibs players don't encroach on the edge of the box. Big moment in the Scottish Cup quarter-final. 22 on the clock. And Rangers with a chance to score the opening goal. Tavernier still waits as Stephen McLean does the round.
Steve McLean, get on with the job. Let the boy take the penalty.
And Hibs players been told to stay back. I'm not really sure they were encroaching there, but Stephen McLean blows his whistle. It's James Tavernier. He waits and he waits. Tavernier steps up, saved by Marshall, and then it falls for Lundstrom, and it's bundled in. Rangers leads. John Lundstrom thumps his chest. Disaster for Hibs. Rangers hit the front in the Scottish Cup quarter-final. It's John Lundstrom with a goal.
unlike Hibernian, not to hit the back of the net, but all credit to Lundstrom. He's following it up. That's what you want from your players.
Well, you know how Marshall's got a brilliant record with penalties, and I mean, that's what got Scotland to Euros, and let's be honest. And then he throws himself to his left, he gambles, he gets it, but Lundstrom is on the move. His desire to get there, because he was under pressure as well, just to bundle it over the line, and it's the breakthrough that I wouldn't say they deserve, because it's been end to end, but I mean, they've had them some chances, and nobody can argue with the penalties. Brilliant from Tavernier as well with the pass to put Sterling in as well, and listen, for the first time he misses a penalty. Tavernier and Lundstrom, it was all about the desire to get there, to just get it in.
Yeah, Marcondes was booked in the aftermath of that. Let's go touchline with Keredine Idsan, who Hibs dug out, perhaps not too happy with that penalty award.
Absolutely furious, the Hibs bench, not necessarily because of a goal down, but because they thought there should have been a foul in Martin Boyle's favour at the start of the move that led to that Rangers penalty. And I have to say, it happened right in front of me. It looked like Boyle was fouled, and Nick Montgomery had a right good go at the fourth official. Not happy at all. Hibs bench raging.
Interesting. Well, we don't have the benefit of replays. I have to say, at the time, I didn't think there was too much in it between Silva and Boyle. I thought, you know, it's one of those ones that you might get it, you might not. It's Hibs kick off. Yeah, Marcondes was booked, and then Dessers has gone down again straight away. I don't know if he's been barged into or what, but he did it at the very kick-off, and Hibs have kicked off again, and he's gone down in a heat. I'm not sure. I didn't see, I have to admit. I don't know if either of you boys saw what happened there.
I never saw it. He's up on his feet now. He's holding his ribs. Looks like he's okay.
So obviously, as you said, there was something from the kick-off where we see Dessers going after the ball with just a little, maybe a bump or a barge or something, and he's hit the deck twice.
Yeah, I have to say as well, I saw something chucked from the Rangers end at Joe Newell when Tavernier was taking that penalty. Something came out the Hibs end as well, and it's disappointing to see Rangers with the all-important goal. James Tavernier penalty saved by David Marshall, but bundled in by John Lundstrom. Rangers have the crucial opening goal. What a lively opening 25 minutes it's been, and that's now 8 goals Rangers have scored against Hibs this season without reply. And Hibs are going to need to find something here at Easter Roads if they want to get through to Hampden for the second time this season, because they felt they should have been in the League Cup final against Rangers the way they performed against Aberdeen. Miofsky's goal, and here comes Rangers. It's Sterling in the box off the thigh, and Marshall has to save. Another big stop from the Hibs goalkeeper. He's keeping them in it at the moment.
It's a terrific save once again. Sterling making a great run. So much pace causing Hibs problems. When Hibs push up, leaving that space behind.
So Virginie Tavernier, though, when they take the long ball, he pops himself up the right-hand side. When he takes a touch, I was watching Sterling, he just took off, and you know what he's like. We've been talking about it, John, when that strength of running just takes off. And for Tavernier to spot him, he takes a touch, just sit down, hits a shot. It's another good Marshall stop.
It's long for Hibs. They got a free kick there, but it's out on the far sides. Hibs looking to win this competition for the 4th time. In fact, the last time these sides met in the Scottish Cup was that 2016 final, famous final. Best moments in Hibs history, coming back from 2-1 down at Hampden. David Gray with that headed winner, 3-2 to end a 114-year wait. But they've got it all to do here as they trail Rangers in the quarter-final by a goal to nil in the first half. Cadden lets it bounce, goes back to David Marshall. It's a horrible one for the goalkeeper because it's bobbling all over the place, and he smacks it up into the air, and it just bounces almost in line with the edge of the box and out for a Rangers throw. But it's a couple of back passes that have bobbled pretty badly for the goalkeepers. Here's Yilmaz going to take the throw in for Rangers, looking to bolster their leads. Yilmaz has been really good in the opening quarter, nearly half an hour of this game. Mariah Welsh up to Marcondes, turns away from Diamonde, then he's fouled by John Suter, and then he rolls about. He's claiming, most players claiming he's taken a sore one on the ground from John Suter there, and Mariah Welsh squares up to Suter, and there's a few words being exchanged.
If anything, it's an accident. John Suter's not that type of player. No. I think he has maybe caught him on the top of the head. But
it's getting naughty though, isn't it? He just burrowed round, Marcondes' head was there, kind of bumped it, he throws himself about. Mariah Welsh are getting involved. You just got to break up and calm it down a wee bit.
Hibs players have just got to calm down, regroup, get focused.
Yeah, absolutely, because they need to keep their discipline, because what they definitely can't afford to do is go 2 down and get ragged, and they've already had 2 players booked as well, with Triantis in the first 10 minutes and obviously Marcondes in the aftermath of that goal, which we can only assume was for some dissent or complaining or something. It's a big switch for the free kick from Fish. Maolida flicks it to Obita on the left hand side, back to Maolida. Hibs can't get too down either, because they've had some good moments in this game, but then that's a poor pass. Tavernier cuts it off and he digs it towards Sterling, but it's out for a throw-in. It's taken a touch of a Hibs player, so it's going to be a Rangers throw just short of the halfway line. 1-0, Rangers leads. Live on Sports Sounds, a massive week for you of Scottish football. Sports Sound tomorrow night, the final tie of the quarter-finals. As Morton host Hearts. It's live on the telly as well. Sports Scene, BBC Scotland channel. As Rangers helped forward by Silva into the path of Dessers. He's tussling with Bashiri. Good strength from Dessers, but he can't keep it in. It rolls out for a goal kick to Hibs. As I was saying, yeah, plenty of action to come. Sports Sound and Sports Scene tomorrow night. And then Tuesday, more live championship action. BBC Scotland, as Raith Rovers play their game in hand on Dundee United away to Partick Thistle. Wednesday night, commentary of Dundee Aberdeen, updates from Hibs County. Thursday, Rangers return against Benfica. Friday, more championship, Dunfermline against Dundee United as Rangers come forward. It's Silva on the edge of the box. He's up against Cadden. Little pass to Yilmaz on the overlap, and Yilmaz just miscues across, almost head it into the ground, and Hibs clear, but it's a corner kick.
Boyle drops Yilmaz there. He's got to stay with them. I'm sorry. It's they've already men down it, and Cadden's kind of holding Silva up. He's saying, you've got to follow him because I can't take him. It's a little reverse pass to him and he just doesn't get the cut back correct, Yilmaz. But another good move from Rangers.
Silva's he's a clever player, isn't he? He takes it in, pulls the opposition player near him, looks one way and passes the other.
I thought he was outstanding on Thursday night. Fabio Silva obviously revved up, playing in his homelands. Former Porto player as well, of course. Swung into the near post and it's headed away by Fish. Good header. So it was in the 6-yard box. Tavernier helps it back in. Marshall will claim that one comfortably in his 6-yard box. And he's going to try and look to get on with it. Mariah Welsh is onto the long one. It's rolled out to Marcondes. He dribbles over the halfway line. Hibs with a bit of space here. Marcondes still going. He's up to the edge of the box. And he tries to lay it off to Maolida. Gets it back. Now Maolida does have it, left-hand side, fires across in, Diamonde intercepts, back to Obita.
Done his hamstring, somebody there in the middle of the pitch.
And I think it's Dujon Sterling, is it, that's down, it comes in, and then Goldson, another unconvincing clearance from Connor Goldson. Marcondes challenges him, Goldson gets a header on it, it's bouncing about, again from Marcondes. Can't go round Goldson. Good strength from the Rangers centre-back. Step over from Maolida. Gets the byline. Good recovery from Diamonde. Slides in. And he's won a goal kick of Maolida as well. But I think Dujon Sterling has done himself an injury here. Lying down on the edge of his own box.
Looks like he's holding his hamstring. Could be a torn hamstring. Not a good one.
Well, sorry, Bill. Out you go.
No, it doesn't look good, does it? I mean, he's down there. He wasn't budging, especially when Hibs were in such a dangerous position. It all did come from the goalkeeper. A lot of Hibs fans wanted to kick it, didn't they, to Mariah Welsh, but he showed his composure and just rolled it to Marcondes, and my God, he was off, showing his pace, busted right through, and eventually the tackle come in. I thought he's got to get that one right. It's a penalty, but Maolida must have just touched it before him. That was Diamande getting in there. So they got a wee bit fortunate, Rangers, because they're breaking the ball.
Well, Rangers are going to be forced into a change here. Kennedy.
Yeah, young Ross McCausland is already stripped, ready to come on. That gives you all you need to know about the severity with which the Rangers bench are dealing with this injury to Sterling, who's now limping to his feet, but there's no chance, I don't think, he's going to be fit to continue, and Ross McCausland will shortly take his place. Thanks,
Kennedy. Well, that's a savage blow, because Rangers have had so many injury woes this season. Danilo, of course, out. Cortez, who looked like he was coming onto a game, the signing on loan from Lens, and he's did himself an injury. Kieran Dowell's out as well, and now it looks a sore one for Dujon Sterling. He's up on his feet at least. He's going to be able to walk off. He's doing so with a limp. He applauds the Rangers fans behind the goal. And Ross McCausland is going to come on, but it's difficult. They've got Ravi Matondo back on the bench again. He's missed the last 5 games, so that's at least something for Philippe Clement, but It just seems like he can't get everyone fit and firing at the same time. I suppose that's always the case as a manager, Billy, but especially at this business end of the season.
It's a chance you take when you've got so many games as well, and I'm not saying that's why he's pulled it, but he's obviously got a sore one. He's had to come off. It's a big blow for the lad, not just because of what's happened. He's pulled his hammy, just the way he's performing in this game as well. You can see a couple of shots he had, the link up he had with James Tavernier on that right hand side. He's been in different class so far. Big blow for him.
Yeah, I was supposed to say for Marshall, won the penalty of course from Ovita. He's been brilliant, but he's off. Dujon Sterling. And McCausland is on. 33 played, and the Rangers lead by a goal to nil. John Lundstrom's goal. Here's Silva, puts it through the legs of Cadden. He's just such a confident player at the moment. Gives it to Cadden, and it's Hibs who get it back, and Cadden plays it forward. Good touch from Mariah Welsh, but Suter gets onto him, then Boyle gets a little nick on it, and then here's Marcondes. Tavernier, not a great clearance, back to Marcondes. Cross comes back in, and Tavernier side foots it out for a throw-in on this near side. But Hibs haven't gone away.
No, they're still well in this game. There's not a lot between the two teams.
Absolutely, and
there's no let up though, is there? I mean, it's incredible. Conde, same sort of ball twice. Tavernier has to clear, just breaks the ball, the pace of the game. It's really interesting, I'm really enjoying it.
It's amazing the difference Hibs look with players like Marcondes and Maelida, just their ability to hold on to the ball when it gets up to them. Here's Newell with a long throw into the Rangers box. It's flicked on. There it's for Maelida, and he was stretching over his head, and he got a shot on it, but it was very tame, and Butland calmly collects.
Can he pull it down, John? Maybe drag it in hit.
I think he could have. I think he was asking a lot overhead kick from that distance.
And he's a confident player, almost as if he wasn't expecting it to come to him, because it did bounce in the box. You're almost expecting Rangers to clear it in the first phase. It was a kind of languid leg. He just left there and hooked it over his shoulder.
Yeah, Rangers had backed off Thomas, didn't they? He probably had about 6 yards to work with. He maybe just pulled it down and swivelled, got the strike away.
McCausland fizzes it through a little gap for Diamonde, gets it back, he's on the touchline, drives infield, and then it's at the feet of Lawrence on the edge of the box, lines up the left-footed shot, and it flashes over the crossbar.
That's Lawrence for you. Anytime he gets a sight of the goal, 20-25, he's not scared to pull the trigger. Normally he'll hit the target, but that was a little bit wide. He'll be disappointed.
Yeah, he's a player who's really come onto again, just those fitness woes behind him. Scored the opener in Lisbon. Wonderful header it was as well. Guided it into the corner.
Strike against Kilmarnock as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
John says usually gets on target.
And that was a huge goal in terms of the title race. Chipped forward by Tavernier. Lawrence lays it to Diamonde. Good tackle from Joe Newell though, and then he loses out to Diamonde. A challenge in, he's grabbed it off the deck quickly. Diamonde, such an athletic, industrious player. He's still going. Eventually Newell gets the ball back, and he's looking for the run of Maelida, and he's found him. Tavernier comes across. Maelida's a bit isolated, nicks it away from Tavernier, but then Tavernier gets back in, breaks for Mariah Welsh. Hibs come forward. Here's Marcondes. He's got Goulton in front of him, takes it to the box. It's still Marcondes. Goulton with a foot in, good defending from the Rangers centre-back, pops it out for a throw-in on the far side. Still 1-0 Rangers.
Very good defending from Goulson, and he kept his eye on the ball in the box, won it, but Mariah Welsh, he's caught my eye, he's looking sharp in the middle of the pitch for Hibs. Good energy, good legs.
But it's mental at times, isn't it? You have it. No, you have it. And then they were lucky eventually when they got it clear.
And it's frantic. Dessers trying to hold off Bashiri, who goes down, and then Dessers goes down. He spent a lot of time on the turf, I have to say. Cyril Dessers forward for Boyle. He's claiming he's fouled. The referee doesn't agree, and Boyle, and is it Goulson who's not? It's not Goulson, is it Suter who's down with him? I think it's Suter. They both went up for the ball, and they're in a crumpled heap in the D in the edge of the box.
I don't know if he's fouled, but he's flattened, that's for sure.
Well, there's an urgency about Steve McLean, the referee, is really urging on the physio, so it's never really a good sign. And Martin Boyle, I think there's real concern for is the Hibs.
I think he landed awkwardly, and I think John Suter landed right on top of him. Big unit for landing on top of you.
I don't fancy it myself. It's just two players going up to compete for a ball. Steve McLean didn't see anything illegal in it, and Martin Boyle took a sore one and he's smashed the turf. And there is a bit of concern. Easter Road's not full this evening, but is a good atmosphere. It's lulled here with the stoppage in play, and Hibs trailing by a goal to 0. Aberdeen and Celtic already in the hat for the semi-finals. Aberdeen with a good win against Killie yesterday before the drama of Neil Warnock stepping down. Who saw that coming? And then Celtic had to work hard to see off the Premiership's bottom side, Livingston, but they did so. Naizen Maeda helping himself to a hat-trick, 4-2.
Not looking good for Martin Boyle at the moment. He hasn't moved.
No, and you have to say sometimes it's just the reaction. The referee was really waving on the physios.
Oh no, here comes the stretcher.
The stretcher is out. And I think the Rangers physios are on.
Yeah, they are.
Helping see to Martin Boyle. They've put him in the recovery position. You can see he's on his side. They've got the knee up, so they've kind of... So obviously precaution. I don't know what's going on, but it's really not nice to see, because he's, of course, he's such a vibrant player for Hibs, but he's had his injury woes, you know, a long time out with that knee injury. And Hibs, another team who've, Montgomery not always had his best attacking options on the pitch at once this season. You feel they've just started to get that, and Martin Boyle is clearly not going to be able to continue here, which is a real shame.
It's a huge blow, isn't it? Just with his pace, he was looking at a threat against Rangers. Let's hope it's not like knee damage or anything. That might be a bit of concussion. That's at best. You just wish him a speedy recovery. It's not good, but I'll tell you what, you're right. The physios, the doctors weren't hanging about. They were on there sharpish and got him into that position.
Let's go track side again with Kerridine, who can give us an update on perhaps a substitution that's incoming.
Yes, similar to the last time. There's no doubt at all in the Hibs bench that Martin Boyle will be able to play no further part in this match, unfortunately. So they've just signalled to Eli Yuan to run the length of the touchline. He was warming up behind the other goal. He's now getting stripped, and Eli Yuan will replace Martin Boyle with, 6-7 minutes of the first half left.
Yeah, that's largely expected. John Eli Yuan, of course, a frustrating player, but he's having his best ever season as a senior pro. So
similar pace to Martin, maybe not quite the same end product, but he's certainly got the pace and the power.
Yeah, he's a live player, that's for sure. 10 goals, 7 assists this season, scored in the last round against Inverness Cali Thistle. So that'll be a like for like, but it's also interesting, and the concern is very much with Martin Boyle. Our thoughts are with him, because this doesn't look good, but this is also going to affect the game, because there was a real ferocious tempo to it, frantic, both sides turning over possession but getting into good areas, transitions. But
you're not glad to have a wee break, no?
I don't know if it is a break for me. I'm having to fill this time.
It's been a very good game of football. Both teams going for it. Hibs brave, pressing them up the top of the pitch. Again, Rangers getting out, getting down the sides, creating chances. It's still Hibs.
I've loved it, Joe. Honestly, right from the start, right before the technical side of the game come in, the tempo, you talked about Hibs been at it, they were right up. Rangers were creating chances. Marcondes has looked dangerous. Malida hitting the post. It was end to end. People getting injured, you don't want to see it. And it's just had everything so far, even though it's only 1-0, could have been doing a few more goals, but I've loved the game so far.
John Lundstrom's goal on 23 minutes, the difference between the sides. James Tavernier's penalty saved by David Marshall, and credit to John Lundstrom, he haired in from nowhere, kind of bundled it in. He was going so quickly, he didn't really have time to control the finish. He kind of hit off him and ended up in the bottom corner. But the players now reached that point where they're trying to warm up. It is bitterly cold here.
Well, there's too many of them standing still. I've got to be honest, they shouldn't be standing still. They should all be moving, because it's a bitterly cold day here at Easter Road.
Absolutely. Nick Montgomery down in front of us. He's given some instructions to Eli Yuan. How's his French? That's what I'm thinking.
Pas trop mal.
Hi, John, you can get down there then.
Help us out, will you?
I'm ready. The translator's ready.
But, yeah, he's stripped and ready, Eli Yuan. John Suter's been across as well, speaking to Philippe Clement, as is James Tavernier taking a drink.
I'm more concerned with Boyle. Look at him. I mean, there's probably 8 people around him, just synchronised, isn't it? They're going to lift him. He must be in a bad way. As I said, worst case scenario is concussion, and that I mean, you just don't want to see it, but you can see right away they were concerned. That's the word.
Yeah, it's just as I say, you can just tell sometimes by the reaction of those around them, and as you described, John, They both went up for the header. They both got a great leap, and they've just it's shoulder to shoulder, and they've just landed. And I think Suter's come down. He's a big boy, bulky lad. He's just landed right on top of him.
Straight away, we could see he wasn't moving at all. And Butland started screaming for the physios to come on.
Yeah,
and they're taking their time, rightly so.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Martin Boyle's safety and health is absolutely paramount here. And in fairness to the fans at Easter Roads, are still generating a good atmosphere amid this lull. And Steve McLean speaking to Emiliano Marcondes, but as I say, we'll see how this impacts the game, because it's almost like starting again for the second half. And as my watch runs, we're almost at 44 minutes, which of course we're not in terms of minutes played. But let's go back to Kerridine for an update trackside.
Yeah, just slightly more encouraging news. I'm being told trackside here that Martin Boyle is conscious, and the problem was the way the player, I think it was Suter, landed on him after the fall. I think that maybe caught him in the back of the head or the neck. But the good news is that he is conscious as he's stretchered off right now, and Ellie Yuan takes the field.
Yeah, that is great news. If he's conscious, that's the main thing. And there's some of the Rangers fans applauding him as he's taken off on a stretcher towards the corner flag here. And we wish Martin Boyle all the best. We can hope that it's maybe just severe precautions and that he'll be able to bounce back quickly. But certainly good news that he appears to be conscious as he's carried off. And we are going to resume here as Steve McLean drops the ball back to Jack Butland, who picks it up, and John Suter was off as well for a bit, had some treatment, and he's now jogged back on the pitch. But Ellie Yuan is on for Hibernian, and then there's something going on in front of us here in the director's box. There's people having to be separated down below us, but on with the game. Here's Diamonde as he prods it into the box, and Dessers is after it, and Marshall moves it out to Joe Newell, and here comes Newell driving forwards up to the halfway line, gives it to Mailida, back to Newell, almost has his pocket picked by Diamonde. We've played 45 minutes, we'll need to see how much is added, but it's hard to 9 minutes, I'm being told, is being added at the end of this first half for that Martin Boyle injury. And it's a free kick to Hibs, middle of the pitch, just outside the centre circle. Can Nick Montgomery's side find an equaliser before the break? I don't know what's going on in front of us, but on with the game. Here's Newell to take with the left foot, curls it into the box, headed away by Suter. Mariah Welsh controls it in the chest, but Steve McLean has spotted a foul in the box, and that'll be a Rangers free kick. 1-0 Rangers, played one of the 9 added minutes at the end of the first period.
Yeah, it's settled after that. Good free kick, and Rangers can play out from the back. We're getting a bit of everything. I think maybe a wee mixture of Rangers and Hibs fans.
I don't know, but
having a few beers.
It's like a boxing match down in front of us, but we'll focus on the football. Here's Marcondes, and it's just evades him actually, and Goldson gets in front and gives it to McCausland, and that's a poor pass from McCausland to Cadden. He's under pressure from Silva though, and Lawrence side puts it to Yilmaz, goes back to Suter, pass to Lawrence, lovely first time ball to Yilmaz on the left hand side, curls one towards Dessers, but Will Fish was in the way. Here's Triantis along the deck to Obita, gave away that penalty which eventually resulted in the Rangers opener. Tavernier intercepts the ball forward, gives it to Diamonde, who's turning back and gives it to Goldson. And Rangers probably content to just maintain the ball, keep the ball, try and control things from now to the break. They have the advantage in the Scottish Cup quarter-final. John Suter takes a few strides forward, gives it to Silva, he's in his own half, looks for the switch to McCausland, but it goes to Obita, who clears it downfield, bounces, Goldson heads it to Tavernier, who heads it back to Goldson. Mariah Welsh who's been frantically closing down for the entirety of this first half. But Rangers get the throw in on the far side and they lead by a goal to nil.
A couple of times the balls came to Abita. I think he can take a touch. He's a little bit anxious and nervous. He's playing it first time up the pitch, straight back to Rangers, going to get his composure back.
Forwards, Bashiri gets ahead on it, out of the Hibs defence. Triantis tussling with Lawrence and it bounces for Lawrence. He tries to give it to Silva, but he was on the stretch and couldn't get the power in the pass. Cadden claims it, and then Newell, not the best touch from him, and Diamonde turns the ball over. Here's Lundstrom, rolls it to McCausland on the right. Midway through the Hibs half, back to Tavernier, right for the pass infield to Silva. Comes back towards Tavernier and gives his captain the ball. Back forward for Lawrence, into Lundstrom. Rangers lifting the tempo. Tavernier, Lawrence has gone down, gets himself to his feet. He's back the way as Goldson takes a touch and Marconde is heading down after him. Where he gets it away to Suter, who crosses the halfway line. He's got a lot of space in front of him, John Suter. He goes into it and then he puts the ball into an area where Dessers had just run out of. And then Abita, who's not looked comfortable really, the ball at his feet at the back, he does take a touch and clears it this time.
He's not looked comfortable. Bashiri gave him the ball and then Bashiri stood still, head, never gave him an option.
No, an angle.
Don't like seeing that. You've got to help your teammates out every opportunity.
Rangers play it across the back, and they've played 4 of the 9 added at the end of this first half. Martin Boyle gone off with an injury. Dujon Sterling also departed with an injury for Rangers. And Gilmas plays it into the channel for Dessers on the edge of the box, tries a little flick and he's actually managed to regather, but Hibs have had time to get back in. Here's Diamonde, goes for the left-footed drive and it's just flashed over David Marshall's crossbar. The goalkeeper didn't get a touch, it's sailed over. Rangers still 1 goal to the good.
Decent enough strike, but it was always rising going over the bar as far as I'm concerned, was it?
Best part of 30 yards out, yeah, he had it covered, didn't he? But just before that, the run from Silva opened up and that took Fish away and that let Dessers in. And I'll tell you what, Bashiri just got across in a nicky time where Dessers was in and goal. A brilliant ball from Yilmaz.
Diamonde has certainly proved himself capable from range in his short spell in Scotland so far. A couple of goals already. Hearts and St Johnstone. Here's Tavernier on the right hand touchline. He's put one into the box and Cadden lets it bounce in the box. Silva, and he's facing away from goal, and he turns and he's turned Cadden. Still got it, Silva into the 6-yard area, and Hibs gets something on it just. Cadden had no idea what he was doing there.
Hibs looking a little bit ragged at the moment, a little bit tired.
Rangers have to need half-time, don't they?
Need to get in 1-0 at half-time.
Yeah, that injury to Martin Boyle somewhat broken their strides. And Rangers taking a grip of the game. Here's Connor Goldson in his own half, rolls it to Suter. Drives over the halfway line, right for the pass to Silva, who's been wonderful to watch, you have to say. Comes in field, Cadden gets a challenge in, it's given away by Hibs, and Lawrence has it. Moves out to McCausland, right hand corner of the box. He's got Abita in front of him, goes on the outside. Abita blocks the cross, and then Triantis puts it away. Tavernier goes after it. Marcondes is there as well. Tavernier puts it up in the air, and Mariah Welsh. It's a brilliant touch on the chest from Mariah Welsh, then away from Tavernier. Excellent from Nathan Mariah Welsh, but then he just runs it around. He didn't have much option. Has he kept that in on the far side? He hasn't. The referee says it's out for a throw-in on the far side, but
linesman never gave that.
You're right, John.
That's a linesman's job to give throw-ins, not the referee.
Stevie McLean's 20 yards in the pitch. He can't be sure that that ball's completely over the line. The linesman does nothing. He calls it. I tell you, out of order for me.
It's a free kick, though.
Looks like he's getting a free kick. I never saw a free kick.
What?
To who? Rangers. So did they tool him then? They take it all back. Mariah Welsh must have given Tavernier a little pull with the jersey.
I have to say I didn't. I had no idea what that was for, but the referee's clearly seen something, in fairness, so he's given a free kick to Rangers. And now here come Rangers down the right hand side with McCausland. Infield to Tavernier. Infield again to Lawrence. To Diamonde. And Lundstrom. Just not a great pass for Suter. He goes after it. And Hibs not pressing with the same intent, or setting off Rangers somewhat as Silva drops in, gives it to Tavernier. Tavernier back to Silva. Tavernier again. And we've now played 7 of the 9 added. Goldson through to Lawrence. Hibs trying to hold Rangers off as Dessers makes a run, touches it away from Cadden, then back to Lawrence, edge of the area, still going. Tom Lawrence tries a left-footed shot. Bashiri gets a half clearance. Mariah Welsh away from the edge of his own box. Lundstrom away from Mailida. Right hand corner of the box, back to Diamonde, left foot into the box, and then Dessers leaves it, and it just goes wide. It was as if there was a foul given, and then Dessers just ran away, left the ball as if, I don't know if he was dumming it.
It was a cross, but it ended up near in the bottom corner, didn't it?
Hibs are hanging on, that's for sure. They just need that half-time, regroup and go again. But yeah, I was with you. It was a moment in time that just stood still, wasn't it? Because when the in-swinging cross come in, he just dummies it. He must have let it go. There was no infringement. I better not peak too early and call it again, but it just missed the far post, didn't it, by inches?
Yeah, I think I'll give Dessers the benefit of the doubt there and say that was deliberate, and he just thought this is going in, and he wasn't far wrong, to be fair, and everyone stopped, and David Marshall was rooted to the spot, but it went by the far post, and Dessers looks to get in behind here, but it goes through to David Marshall comfortably, takes it in his own box, and Hibs probably could just do with a half-time whistle here, and we've only got about 15 seconds left of the 9 added. Rangers a goal up. John Lundstrom strike the difference. Infield to Joe Newell. Cross to Rocky Bashiri. Back heel roll to Joe Newell. And there is Stephen McLean's half-time whistle. The Rangers have 1 foot in the Scottish Cup semi-final. They're on their way to Hampden unless Hibs can respond in the second half. It's been a brilliant first half, really frantic. Hibs have played their part. They haven't quite managed to test Jack Butland as much as they like, and Rangers have probably had the best opportunity. They did, Hibs, have that Mailida effort off the post when Butland was uncertain in the 6-yard box to a challenge in the goalkeeper. It came back off of a net off the post. It was a big let-off for Rangers, but Rangers did respond. Dessers was denied by Marshall, and then the big moment, Jordan Obita tripped Dujon Sterling, who's since departed with what looked like a pulled hamstring. He went down in the box. It was a clear penalty. It was awarded. James Tavernier stepped up. It was saved down the middle from Marshall, but John Lundstrom was quickest on the spot to bundle it in and give Rangers the leads. There have been other chances. Sterling again before he went off tested Marshall. Big save from the Hibs goalkeeper. And then there was a concerning moment when Martin Boyle went down, challenging in the air with John Souttar, and then landed on him. He was down for about 8 or 9 minutes getting treatment. We were being told he was conscious. He's gone off on a stretcher, and Eli Yuan has come on, and then Hibs, after that resumption and added time, just couldn't quite get a grip of the game, and Rangers looked as if they could add a second, but they haven't. Hibs are still in it at half-time here at Easter Road in this Scottish Cup quarter-final. It is Hibernian 0, Rangers 1.
The Scottish Cup.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
Where Scottish football lives.
Oh, I've got to say it's been another very lively 45 minutes to follow that thriller at Celtic Park. Celtic eventually edging out Livingston by 4-2. Rangers are in front. It came courtesy of their 17th penalty of the season. It's the third that James Tavernier has failed to score from. It's the second that David Marshall has saved this season. But to no avail, because John Lundstrom was first to react, and his second goal of the campaign has given Rangers the advantage. We've got a couple of things we need to do in the interval, so we'll give Billy and John just a few moments to gather their thoughts. Let's just wrap up the women's Scottish Cup quarter-finals. Earlier wins for Spartans 5-0 against Livingston, Rangers 6-2 against Hibernian, and Hearts 1-0 against Partick Thistle. The other tie, the last one to finish, was a 4 o'clock kick-off, Montrose against Celtic. Keir Murray.
Well, yes, there's Scottish Cup football in Angus, and it's finished Montrose 0, Celtic 6 at Links Park. So it's Celtic who go through to mention the teams you mentioned there: Richard, Spartans, Hearts and Rangers in tomorrow night's draw. Celtic's first 2 goals came from quick breaks, and both were scored by Kit Lafersky. Her first in 5 minutes was a strike that flashed across Lauren Perry in the Montrose goal. Her second, just 4 minutes later, came from a low cross from the right, and she did brilliantly to do a little back heel flick to divert the ball into the net. Demi Taylor was the standout in the first half for Montrose, and her in-swinging corner kick was the host's best effort in the first half, but Chloe Logan did well to punch it clear. so close to scoring straight from the corner. Celtic's third came from Jenny Smith, played in by Amy Gallagher, and she beat Perry when through 1-on-1. The onslaught continued after interval. Celtic centre-half Sydney Cummings hit the bar with a header, and from the corner kick that followed, the ball fell nicely for Shen to smash it home. Maria McInerney's cross found Celtic skipper Caitlin Hayes, and she headed beyond player of the match Perry for number 5, before substitute Murphy Agnew took a Shen Menglu pass for the 6th and final goal of the match. Elena Sadiku, the Celtic head coach, told me a moment ago she of course wanted more goals but was satisfied overall with the performance. Finish: Montrose 0, Celtic 6.
Thank you to Keir. So Celtic, Hearts, Rangers and Spartans draw for the semi-final tomorrow night on Sports Scene. The draw for the men's semi-finals also on Sports Scene tomorrow night as they bring you live coverage of Morton against Hearts. It has been dramatic so far right across the weekend. Of course, plenty drama yesterday, both during the game and in the wake of Aberdeen's 3-1 success against Kilmarnock.
The Scottish Cup.
This is the chance they've been waiting for. Cross court comes, must be it.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland. Aberdeen versus Kilmarnock.
Majowski finds Hoylett with a back heel. It's a good straight, but it's into the back of the net from Jamie McGrath. Aberdeen 1, Kilmarnock 0.
Yeah, as a player, that's what you aim for all season, is to get to a cup semi, get to a cup final, so we're one step closer now.
McGrath touches it back. Shinnie takes the shot on goal! Graham Shinnie with a right boot rocket!
It fell to me in the box and I just wanted to put my foot through it. Absolutely delighted to see it hit the net.
Stands up to the back post. There's Armstrong with the goal! And Killian right back in it before half-time! And it's all of a sudden back in the melting pot. Aberdeen 2, Kilmarnock 1.
Scored a very good goal, good movement, good striker play for Vassell, good stood-up cross, lovely finish for Danny.
There is the full-time whistle, and it's Aberdeen who have brought an end to a winless run to secure Scottish Cup success and take their place in the last 4 finishes here at Pittodrie. Aberdeen 3, Kilmarnock 1.
We were just superior in every department today. Really pleasing.
But we must get back to Pittodrie. Breaking news there. It's on the Aberdeen Twitter account. Interim manager Neil Warnock has stepped aside following today's Scottish Cup quarter-final victory at Pittodrie.
We decided in midweek that today was going to be the day, and I'm glad I left on a high, really, because it was the lads were fantastic today. I thought they played really well, and I was quite proud of them today.
Well, my goodness, an incredible development.
It certainly is, Kenny. You know, it's hard to believe, actually, that this is happening. You know, it's one of these nightmare situations, you know, that it's hard to believe. You know, you appoint a manager for a short period of time, and then he's resigned, is he? Is he walking away from?
That's the very brief statement.
Yeah.
Well, I can actually see some pictures coming into the studio, so I think we're going to hear from him.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, I think we're going to hear from him.
I think so. You know, obviously just come in when you do get him, and I'll keep quiet so that we can get the reason why he's decided at this moment in time it's time to walk away.
I only came up to help, you know, Dave and Alan out to try and steady the ship, and you know, unfortunately we haven't got the right results in the league, but I thought I ought to try and get through the cup, and I know they're well on the way now to getting a new manager. I've been telling them now for the last couple of weeks, you've got to push forward now and try and get a new manager as quickly as possible, and that's what they're doing.
The optics of this, it just, you know, a club that are, you know, turning over managers so frequently, they appoint somebody to see them through to the end of the season, to buy a bit of time to do this analysis, and you know, they've got this obviously this advisory company in to look at the setup and report on it. Buys them all this time, and now the guy you've got in interim charge is walking out. I mean, that strikes me as it's a club in chaos behind the scenes. Whether it's because it's the lack of internal communication, because you're talking about, is he walking because he's got wind that the club are about to appoint somebody?
I'm going to guess. I mean,
but I know you. I can't understand it. Yeah, I know. But I'm saying, if you play the hypotheticals like that, say that is the case.
Yeah.
I get the impression that Neil Warnock has felt result, I can go up there on temporary, charge, and I can do the business and I can get this job. And I think anybody that actually thought this was a good appointment in the short term, I don't think anybody felt that it was the right appointment longer term. And I think his nose is out of joint in terms of how things have gone. The way he's bitten back at Neil Lennon suggesting he'd want the job, and I've already said that there's nothing wrong with that because he's only an interim charge. Yeah. And now he's walking away. This is a club that are in desperate states. They need to get somebody in who is going to control that football department and the football side of things. And they need to do it quickly now because they've got a semi-final that they need to be looking forward to, but they're managerless.
So, I mean, certainly the word had come out in the city here prior to that Kilmarnock game that it was going to be Neil Warnock's last match. It came as no surprise when the announcement was made. But it's bewildering, Billy, isn't it, the situation that your old club has got themselves into?
I came on radio last night and was talking with Willie and Michael, and I feel no different today because you're not telling me. It just doesn't look good on the club. He was there to the end of the season. Let's be honest. He went up there to finish the season, and I don't know what it is, what's gone wrong, but he's decided that he's going, or the club have decided we're going to get a new manager earlier than what we thought, but it doesn't send out the right message for me. And I'm not saying they're a shambles. Michael said they were a shambles, and it just doesn't look good. I mean, Richard, you're an Aberdeen fan, so if I flip it, are you happy about the situation? You've got an interim manager to the end of the season. Suddenly you've not got an interim manager to the end of the season. You're happy you're in a semi-final, but in that case, why did he not stay and try and win some silverware? Why did he Billy, carry the job through? It's incredible.
There has been a lot going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, I know that.
I can assure you.
Of course.
And if you're asking me, you said I'm an Aberdeen fan. Would I like to see? Nah, I mean, for me, it was just the most ridiculous appointment.
I never
in the
told
first
you about
instance.
this, but I'm walking around the stadium from doing TV duties, and I bump into somebody within the club who I know, and he'll remain nameless, and he told me Neil had gone, and I'm like, I said it last night on the radio, what? You've said the word bewildering. I couldn't believe it, because there's obviously something happened. There's a breakdown somewhere that they just thought, just end it now. But that's not the point. The point is, does it look good in the club? For me, no. They've got an interim manager to the end of the season. Totally understood why Dave Cormack made that decision to buy himself time, because the ones he's appointed so far didn't work out the way he wanted. So I understood it. A lot of people didn't, but I did, because give yourself a bit of breathing space. Now the interim's gone, and it's just chaotic. It's not a good reflection of the club. You want it. I used the word smoother, and I stand by that as well to Kenny. It should be a smooth process, and that's the next bit.
I think
they're interviewing, Richard. They don't really. They've obviously got candidates in mind, but they don't really know the right ones so far, because they're doing interviews, and he said they're well down the line, and Peter Leaven will now take over. So it's a bit all over the place.
Look, I think there will be developments in the fairly near future, and this story goes beyond just whoever takes over as the manager. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what emerges and what develops over the next couple of weeks.
So you didn't answer me though. Does it look good on your club?
It looks terrible. It looks absolutely terrible.
That's where I'm at with it.
The point you make, I think, was absolutely correct. There was nothing wrong with bringing in an interim manager, but you had to bring in somebody who was a good fit for the club and was a good fit for Scottish football. And Neil Warnock was never, ever going to be that. I mean, I've made my thoughts clear right from the very start.
I heard that as well, yes. But listen, he's had a good managerial record. That's why I thought there's something wrong, because he's up here to finish his job, because he's a man, also pointed that out, that likes to come to a club, sort it out, get a nice wee pat in the back and off you pop. But he didn't even get that opportunity.
So Richard, can I ask a question? Has the process changed in selecting a manager? The people involved? No. Are they still the same people involved?
Well, clearly there has been this review, this audit, if you like, that's been going external, who have been brought in to review the running of the club.
And who is this group? To
be honest, I cannot. Yeah, no. This is a specialist company who carry out audits. Of businesses, of companies. And I think there will be developments off the back of that we can expect.
I've got so much time, as you know, for the club, Richard, and so much of my best experiences in football there. I know a lot of people that are there. I'm not enjoying to see what's happening though.
No, absolutely not. I mean, it's excruciating to see what has been going on in recent times. It's a topic that will continue to give us plenty time to discuss on Sports Sound, and we've got plenty of programmes coming up during which I'm sure we'll get the chance to do just that. Let's just reflect on the first 45 minutes there. I mean, remarkable 45 minutes. Our thoughts are with Martin Boyle. We'll get us news as soon as we possibly can in terms of Martin, how he is. Clearly had extended treatment there, went off on a stretcher, and we sent him our very best wishes. In terms of the game, it all just hinged, didn't it, on a crazy 60 seconds or so from Jordan Abita, John?
Yep, bad decision making. First thing, he got off lightly, his goalkeeper saved him here on the right hand side. He's being pressed by the Rangers player. Simple thing, you play it forward. He's tried to be casual and play it back to the goalkeeper. The Rangers, I think it was Dessers, read it. Excellent play from Dessers, and he should have probably scored the goal there. 60 seconds later, I think. He's been caught wrong side. It's a good play from Rangers, good pass, good run in behind him. The Rangers players in front of him. What you don't do in modern day football is you don't touch them, because we know any touch in the box is now a penalty. And
Although, as was pointed out, fair play to Dujon Sterling, who did everything he could to stay up.
Yep, he's got to give him tremendous credit, because modern day football players go down as soon as somebody breathes on them usually. But
to be fair, Billy Dodds used to do that all the time. I know you were being kind to him, but Dodds, he did that constantly.
That's the difference between a presenter and John Collins, who's an ex-player, says I was one of the most honest forwards you would ever get. But
John hasn't worked on you on many programmes when you said if a defender touches me, I have the right to go down.
You never let me finish. You're not far away.
And again, look, David Marshall saves from Tavernier, but it was Lundstrom who was first to react. And I guess, and incidentally, I know Kerrigan was saying that the Hibs bench were furious. They felt there was a foul on Martin Boyle. I've seen a replay of that. It's not a foul. There's no foul on Martin Boyle, and he goes down, but there is no foul perpetrated as far as I can see.
So is that the one just in front of the dugout?
Yeah,
we've seen that. There's no way that was a foul. You could tell.
No, absolutely not.
But it was a good, first 30 minutes, it was an excellent,
wasn't it?
Two teams going for it, open game of football. Hibs pressing high up the pitch, Rangers struggling a couple of times to get out. Hibs a few chances, but Rangers always looked dangerous, I thought, in the final third, down here on the left hand side with Yilmaz and Sylvia. So it's still game on. Hibs can still do it, there's no doubt about it, but they finished the game, they finished the half poorly. They looked a little bit leggy in the last 5-10 minutes, so hopefully they're refreshed at half time and they go again with the pressing high up the pitch. What they don't want to do is Rangers to control the game at their pace. Rangers will now try and make the pitch big, keep possession, slow the game down, calm the fans. Hibs have got to make sure it's again high tempo, pressing them again.
Well, Hibs have to come from behind. Rangers have the advantage. John Lundstrom, first to react after the penalty was saved. He bundled it home. Rangers 1-0 up as we return for full live second half commentary with John Collins, Billy Dodds and Thomas Duncan.
Thanks, Richard. Both teams back out, lining up. Rangers getting ready to kick off. What have Hibs got in response? They need to throw everything at Rangers in the second half if they want to make progress in the Scottish Cup. And Lawrence gets the second half underway for Rangers. No changes as Mailida immediately robs Tavernier and is sprinting towards the box, and it almost breaks for Mariah Welsh at the edge of the D, but it's cleared and then spins away for Ridvan Yilmaz, whose own clearance is blocked by Marcondes, and then Marcondes gives it the arms in the air to try and G up the crowd.
I really like that. I like that. It's a player that's motivated. He knows the players need the fans making some noise.
Rangers throwing on the far side, and they have the advantage, looking to get to yet another Scottish Cup semi-final, beaten at that stage by Celtic last season, winners the previous season, the better of Postecoglou's Celtic in 2022 in the last four, and then defeating Hearts after extra time in the final, and obviously already been to hand in this season, winning the League Cup as Diamondi moves it forward to Silva, looks for Dessers, but Fish gets there first, gives it to Mariah Welsh, and then Cadden tries to take it on the turn and gets the free kick as Silva had a little nibble at his ankles.
Started in the same fashion though, hasn't it? Like good tempo, frantic pace. Tavernier getting robbed in the ball, and Hibs have a little opportunity out of it, giving the ball away each team, and free kicks been given.
Here's Obita on the left-hand touchline as Bashiri took it for a good run, and goes back to Joe Newell and along to Will Fish. Hibs need to rediscover the opening half hour. Saw them really test Rangers despite going behind. To that Lundstrom goal, the rebound from the penalty. Newell lofts one into the left-hand side. Obita's going to go after it and he can't keep it in. And let's go for a quick update on Martin Boyle's condition from Kerridine.
Yeah, just to let our listeners know that he's no longer here. He has been taken to hospital. There's an understandable reluctance from the club to comment on his state at the moment and the cause of the injury, other than to say that he's in the best possible hands and has been taken to hospital.
Okay, thanks Kerridine, we wish him the best. As Goldson plays it forwards, bounces away from Tom Lawrence. Bashiri fires it into Maelida. Touch was not the best. Hibs have it back though. Here's Triantis. Back to Bashiri.
I've been impressed with Triantis in the middle of the pitch. He's a central defender. He's went in and he's very comfortable on the ball and he's always making himself available.
Brilliant pirouette from Yuan, and now he's up to the edge of the box. Gives it to Cadden. Chips it into the area. Marcondes had peeled off, but Rangers intercept behind for a Hibs corner, and Marcondes is urging the fans on once more.
It's been a decent start from Hibs in this second half, with, as we said, Tavernier getting robbed and Hibs going down the left, then working it down the right. Then Cadden just had to hang it a little bit further because players had from Hibs had started hitting the box but couldn't get past first man, who was Lundstrom.
Corner, and there's the referee's coming over.
Something was thrown onto the pitch next to the goalkeeper.
Someone's been launched from the stands, and then Steve McLean's also come. Is his whistle? Did he just hand his whistle to the?
No, it's a vehicle.
Oh, he sounded like I see what's up.
It's an object thrown onto the pitch.
Okay, he's well, a vape apparently. So there's been quite enough of that in this game already. As Marcondes goes short with the corner to Mariah Welsh, left foot, low delivery. Lundstrom's there and he's furious with himself because he wanted to control it and then move it away, but he put it behind for a corner.
He's got 4 players in the box. He's got to have a better delivery there.
Yeah, it was a bit low.
Yep. Going to miss the first defender out.
And Marcondes, there's an option being offered again by Yuan on the far side, and it's Marcondes curls it in, and a header from Fish, and Lundstrom was in front of Butland to head it behind for another Hibs corner.
It's a decent header, isn't it? I'm not sure if it was going on target. If it was probably covered by Butland, but he can't take any chances.
Hibs go short to Yuan, lays it back into Marcondes, smashes the cross in, and Butland had to tip that over. Almost squirmed into the goal. Good goalkeeping from Rangers number 1. Marcondes is going to get a 4th chance. Over on the far side, fires one in, that's better, Fish is up, header on target, straight at Butland.
Again, excellent movement from Fish. Takes his defender one way and attacks the front post.
Looks as if it just come off of Tom Lawrence, didn't it? Yeah. Just standing there, and luckily for Rangers it was straight at Butland, but good spell of pressure from Hibs.
Well, that ball was there to be won from Elie Yuan, but the challenge wasn't strong enough and it went back in Diamonde's favour, and then Triantis slips, but good touch to keep it under his control, and then he waltzes away from another blue jersey. Really good play.
Triantis is a good football player.
Yeah, absolutely.
Caught my eye.
Yeah, absolutely, on loan from Sunderland, the Australian. It's out on this near side for a Rangers throw-in. Hibs trailing by a goal to nil here at Easter Roads. Played 5.5 in the second period as Tavernier throws it up the touchline. Obita, he's not the best header, and it goes to Lawrence, who's nodded it in behind for Dessers to go after, but Will Fish had it covered. Now Diamonde midway through the Hibs half, and his pass is poor as Yilmaz went on the overlap, and here's Yuan outside of the boot pass, gives it to Mariah Welsh, who's striding forwards. Yuan continues his run. Mariah Welsh to Cadden, right hand side of the box, takes a touch, peels it back to Yuan. Poor ball from Elie Yuan, headed away. Here's Triantis, dinks it, looking for Maelida, but it's under hit. Tavernier heads it away. Bashiri gets there before Dessers. And Obita, who's forced to go back to his goalkeeper, Jordan Obita. Marshall for Fish. Hibs with a confident start to the second period. Yuan, little flick for Mariah Welsh. Good pass, first time, out to the right. Cadden's cross, looking for Mariah Welsh, it bounces. Then there's a touch from Marcondes, he wasn't expecting it. And then it's hooked away by Rangers, and then Lawrence is fouled by Obita, who's going to go in Stephen McLean's notebook.
I mean, it's a lazy foul from Obita. It's dangerous. Yellow cards for defenders can prove very costly now, and once again he's going to tread carefully.
Yeah, I wonder how long it'll be before we see Lewis Stevenson, or maybe even Rory Whittaker's also on the bench, right back. But I don't know, because Jordan Obita's not really had his best evening.
No, in fairness, he has been a good signing for him. He's done fairly well. Get credit where it's due.
With him having to get back in it, he gets forward, so they might want to keep on. I think looking at the game in this second half so far, it's maybe Rangers will be looking to the bench because they look a little bit leggy. Maybe Portugal catching up on them a little bit.
Tavernier's cross bounces edge of the box. Newell gets a flick of that mopped hair on it, and then it's breaking onto the left for Maelida, and then Yuan through the middle, and Maelida cannot pick him out, and he simply had to, because Yuan was through on goal if he did. And then Hibs go quickly from the throw in. Marcondes, lovely touches on the byline, 6-yard box, tries to clip it to Yuan in the 6-yard box, and it's behind for a corner.
Great play from Marcondes. He's terrific, tight situations, good ball control, shifts it right to left.
Short corner to Maelida. Poor ball. Tavernier doesn't deal with it. Just lets it hit off him, and then Diamonde goes after it and hooks it away from the byline. And then Obita doesn't deal with it. Silva nods it to Dessers, centre circle. Hibs sprinting back. Dessers looking for the switch to Silva. Brilliant pass. Silva's touch is poor for once, but he gets back on the end of it. Then lays it to McCausland in the Hibs box. Right hand side, little low ball. And Fish, or Cadden, I beg your pardon, gets across and intercepts. Obita thought he prevented the corner, but he hadn't. And Rangers will have the corner kick.
Looking dangerous again on the break, aren't they, Rangers? Obita's got to do better as well, but McCausland's dangerous when he gets into those areas.
It's been all Hibs, they've got their tails up and they're doing things quickly. Throw in really gets him in. Marcondes, you say, brilliant skill, John. Then Rangers counter them suddenly, and I thought Dessers should have hit the reverse to Silva first time. He didn't. He took a touch, and that allowed the Hibs defence to get back.
Hibs 0, Rangers 1. 54 minutes played in the Scottish Cup quarter-final. Rangers on course for another semi-final and join Aberdeen and Celtic in the last 4. Hearts Morton tomorrow night at Cappielow. And Ridvan Yilmaz is going to take this corner for Rangers with a left foot. Swings it into the 6-yard box. Marcondes with a good head on it at the front post. Tavernier, he's got Lundstrom, but touches it away from Mariah Welsh. He's going to take the shot on long distance, and Marshall to get down low because that's creeping into the bottom corner.
It's a terrific strike, 20, 30 yards, hits the target. Marshall always felt he was going to save it, but it just bounced at that awkward couple of feet in front of him, made it awkward from a good save.
Yeah, make sure gets around the post, taking no chances.
Absolutely. David Marshall was awkward because it kind of bounced in front of him, pushed it away. Yilmaz is going to take another corner for Rangers, looking to add to their 1-goal advantage. Fired into the 6-yard box, terrific delivery, but Will Fish gets a head on it. And Mariah Welsh helps it further down the pitch, and then John Lundstrom on the bounce hammers it back to Jack Butland. For all Hibs' good play, they've not tested Rangers goalkeeper enough. Here he is, Butland. No one has more clean sheets in Scottish football this season. Tremendous signing. We'll wait to see if he might perhaps get a wee recall for England for their friendlies. Squad to be announced this week, I think. And spread across by Goldson. And it's not a good one. It's out beyond Yilmaz and out for a throw-in. And he's just looked a little loose, Connor Goldson, this evening at times with the ball. And here is Triantis, really good strength, holds up Dessers, gets the foul from Lawrence, and has a couple of rolls for good measure.
See, that's the inconsistency for me. Lawrence should be booked there. It's the same kind of foul as Obita. It's a lazy one, wrong side, trips him up, one's a boot and one isn't.
I think that's the point the Hibs fans are perhaps...
Well, they're always looking for consistency from referees.
Here's Obita with the pink boots. Big diagonal with the left boot up to the edge of the Rangers box. Well won by Suter. Breaks for Triantis. Newell to Obita, touch inside, outside for the pass by Triantis to Maolida. Little flick pass, and it's touched by Fish and then headed forward for Marcondes, who then goes down clutching his head, a little head clash, and he's calling for the physio to come on, but Hibs have the ball, and Yuan's still going, and he's got to get it up, he's got to get to his feet, and then Lundstrom pounces on Yuan's hesitation, out for a throw in on the far side. Don't know what Marcondes is looking for there.
I'll tell you now, he was going to go up if the cross was going to get in the box. He got a bump in the head, there's no doubt he's got a sore one. There's no blood, he should have carried on, but as soon as he sees it going out the pitch, he stayed down.
Yeah, Hibs had the ball in a good position, and then because he was on the deck, Yuan kind of hesitated about whether to put it out or not. And Rangers shell it out the pitch. Hibs throw into the feet of Newell, back out to Chris Cadden, right on the touchline on the right hand side. He puts it down the line to Yuan, tries to return it inside to Cadden, but Rangers intercept, and it's cleared. Triantis helps it back. Good touch by Newell, wonderful play. Marcondes, brilliant touch. Goldson wrestles with him, and then Suter intercepts as it was plodded forward for Mariah Welsh, but it's going to be a Hibs free kick, I think. 25 yards out or so.
Again, good feet from Marcondes. He's under a lot of pressure. He managed to just poke the pass forward, but he got caught. I don't think it was a bad one though. He's rolling about. I'd like to see him getting up a little bit quicker than he is.
He's a good player though, he is.
He is.
He's a little bit of a maverick, isn't he? And then
he's gallus, isn't he? He's a Glasgow word, he's gallus. He wants the ball. He's got lots of self-belief, good in tight areas.
He wanted the physio, he's thinking about his knee. I think he's got a bad knee injury, and then suddenly he's holding his head. Then he's up and he's wanting to take the free kick.
Yeah, it's good to watch. Marcondes on loan from Bournemouth, turned 29 yesterday. He's had a good career, influential in the English Championship for Brentford when they got promoted back in 2021, scored in the playoff final. He's got good quality, and he's going to take this free kick. I think it's fairly central, 25 yards out. There's not much angle to it with. Joe Newell was lurking obviously with the left foot, and we know he can hit them. I saw him hit one from this distance, similar position, not from a free kick, but back in the Europa Conference League qualifiers against Luzerne.
Keeper's bottom left, bend it around the wall.
Yeah, that's what
low
Marcondes is looking at.
If we can hear me.
And here he goes, it's Marcondes with the right foot, and he goes high, and Butland has to push it away with both hands. He was listening to John Collins.
Good effort, saw it, executed it. Keeper was always getting it, I think, though.
Yeah, just not quite enough zip on it to beat Butland's, but he did well to hit the target. And as Mariah Welsh goes in on McCausland, and it's going to fall for Maolida on this left-hand side. McCausland gets off the ground, he gets across and does well. Maolida needed a bit more urgency there because there was some space. He gives it into Marcondes, first time flick. It's a bit ambitious, and Tavernier will just see that behind for a goal kick, and it's still Hibs 0, Rangers 1.
A bit of respite, isn't it? I mean, it's been a good second half again. Bit of a slow start. Hibs were up on it. A couple of little opportunities. They had a wee bit of die down, but it's picked up again, and Hibs forcing Marcondes getting on the ball, drawing the free kick, and testing out Butland.
Butland goes short to Goldson, who's going to drive out of the penalty area. Marcondes is going after him. He's already been booked, so he needs to not clip the heels, which he doesn't. Here's Diamonde, just about over the halfway line, but checks back. Suter, Goldson. Rangers will want a bit more control than they've had since the break. We're just shy of the hour mark. Suter, but as Billy Dodds mentioned so long ago, Rangers maybe have perhaps feeling those legs, and you have to feel if you're Hibernian, it's just an opportunity. You feel you're in the game. Rangers with a huge game to come on Thursday. A huge effort put in Lisbon on Thursday night. They went with the same team. Is there an opportunity there as Bashiri stoops the head as Rangers went long, and then it's forward from Diamonde to Dessers, left hand side of the box. Here he is looking for the return to Diamonde. Newell got back, intercepts, and then hits it up to Yuan. He's infield, Eli Yuan, a lovely turn, and then chips it out to the right hand side, and Chris Cadden, and he's going to keep this in down the right touchline, but he gives it away, fires it all the way through to Jack Butland. But Eli Yuan, that was breathtaking, that little turn. And he's got so much quality, but we've seen him in a couple of decent positions not deliver. The required ball into the box as Dessers controls in the centre circle for Rangers. Out-muscled by Rocky Bashiri, who has been a big performer for Hibs on this little 5-game unbeaten run they've been on in recent weeks. It's helped out to Cadden on the right hand side. He's almost in line with the penalty there. Big high cross, and Marcondes was in there. Rangers get it half away. Late to Diamonde. Ewan on the stretch misses it, and here's Silva, and it's 2-on-2 now for Rangers. Silva's going to run at Will Fish, puts the ball beyond him. Fish gets back, forces him to turn away, and then he tries to turn him again, Silva, and it's good, strong defending from Will Fish. And then under pressure, he gets the foul from Silva. Excellent.
Brilliant defending from Fish. Silva tried to do him for pace on the outside. He never had the pace for him. That's one thing I think Silva is lacking, that little changey pace. If he had that, he'd be in the Premiership just now. But he is still a very good football player, and he's got quick feet.
I think it's all about Fish there. Dare I say he wasn't floundering. I mean, it's he asked him the question, didn't he? He was at him, and it was a speed test, and he just stayed with him.
Yep.
And he showed good strength as well. Buffed him out of the way and then gets a free kick. Brilliant defending. It was maybe a lack of pace from Silva, but he was certainly wanting to be at him and take him on.
Nice and positive. He always is positive, Silva. He doesn't pass it backwards just for the sake of it. He wants to try and create something in that final third. That's what I like about him.
Well, Ross McCausland is now down, getting some treatment from the Rangers physio as he's back on his feet.
I think you'll find a few Rangers substitutions coming on at this time.
Yeah, they've been in dialogue. I mean, he just can't. Hibs have been a better team second half, and we said about being leggy. The only thing that's been missing from Hibs is that final pass, that final cross.
I agree.
The quality. I know we say it in the final third, but they've been in so many good positions and hit first man, and it only needs a little hang up, a little cut back, just a little pass to put somebody through. And they've been lacking.
2 Rangers changes coming, Kennedy.
Yes, there's lots of frantic activity on the Rangers bench. I wonder if they're even changing their minds about who's coming on, because Roof and Raskin were getting stripped as McCausland limped over to the sideline.
I'll tell you what, Vita's going to be lucky here if he's not getting sent off. He's pushing the Rangers physio and the injured McCausland, who's obviously got a bad injury. He's actually pushing him off the pitch, and he's already booked. What is he thinking of?
Crazy stuff. You said that. Well, I said because he gets fouled, I would be taking him off now.
He's not had a good night, Jordan Obita. I'm not saying he's done nothing right, but he's got into some decent areas, but he's looked nervous. He obviously gave the ball away that ended up, and then the penalty that ended up in the Rangers goal. And he's lucky there, because Ross McCausland, he's taking his time, but he's clearly got a dunk to the leg, and he's trying to haul him off the pitch. It's silly, it really is, and I wonder if Hibs are going to take him off or not. Not for now, clearly, as Connor Goldson heads it up in the air. Falls for Mailida. Marcondes is in the box, and Jack Billand off his line, and Hibs want a penalty for Goldson on Marcondes. Stephen McLean's unmoved, and Marcondes goes down a bit theatrically as Jack Butland kind of brushed him.
Well, first and foremost, it's a blatant dive from Marcondes.
Yep.
I don't like seeing that. Something that I really don't like seeing in a football pitch.
That's one that should be booked there, just to make sure you're not doing that again.
And
I agree.
Rangers go with those changes. We'll get to Kerry in a moment, because Rangers are going to make 2 changes, but they're momentarily playing with 10, I think, as Ross McCausland limped off, and Joe Newell goes quick with a free kick, but it's delayed because I think Rangers want to make these substitutions, and it's a bite out there, and Kerridine can bring us these subs.
Yeah, it's all going off down here. It's crazy right in front of me. Matondo had just come on to replace McCausland. They're also trying to get Kamar Roof on, who will probably replace Dessers, who jogs over in front of me now. All the while as Nico Raskin redoes the pink laces on his shocking pink and blue boots. He's waiting to come on as well, so he's not afraid to shake things up as the Rangers manager, is he?
No, and you can just hear the atmosphere that's starting to get...
You said that at the start of the game with fireworks. It's got that feeling of powder keg in here, doesn't it? It's just there's everything happening. First half, second half, it's just continued.
Yeah, you can almost smell a red card at some point in this game. It has that feeling about it, whether it's someone on the technical area or whether it's someone on the pitch. As Lundstrom dispossesses Mailida. Rangers still 1 goal to the good. We've played 65.5 minutes at Easter Road in this Scottish Cup quarter-final. Rangers still on course for a domestic treble. Hibs have been more than decent in this game. They just haven't tested the goalkeeper enough. As Triantis takes a sore one from Roof, and Roof has been on for about a minute, goes into Steve McLean's notebook.
I think he caught him, but I'm not sure there was any malice in that. He's a little bit unlucky. His first challenge, yellow card.
Welcome to the game.
Yeah. Oh dear. It's intriguing, it's absorbing, you can't take your eyes off it. And it's still just one goal that separates these teams under the lights at Easter Road. A magnificent occasion. Two of Scotland's biggest clubs. As Victorious Triantis curls one forward for Yuan, and he's got the right side of Yilmaz, lays it to Marcondes, who tries to take it on the turn, and it slips under his studs, and Rangers recover. And now here comes the counter. Silva over the halfway line, he tries to put it behind for Roof, but Fish strides with those long legs and gets there first and puts it out for a throw into Rangers on the far side.
Once again, good defending from Fish, good starting position, but good recovery pace getting across.
Should know the players, wasn't it? His Roof, he's not the quickest, so they had other options, Lawrence and Matondo especially, maybe just hit the little diagonal over the top.
Throw into Lawrence, back to Yilmaz, back again to Suter, square for Goldson in his own half. He's in the centre circle now, gives it to Diamonde, left foot curling pass, it's brilliant, out to Lawrence, back down the line for Yilmaz. Lundstrom drops deep, nudges it back to Suter, into Tavernier, back out to Lundstrom. And Rangers trying to get a bit of possession, not had as much as they'd have liked throughout the game, but certainly in this second half. Matondo, pace to burn, and he tries to go outside and beat out, then catches him with a flailing arm as well, and the referee blows the whistle, gives a free kick, and Obita's protesting.
He's off.
And the yellow card is coming. And Jordan Obita is going to be sent off. And you have to say, it was completely inevitable. He's gone and he's shaking his head, but I don't know what he's shaking his head about.
He's one silly young man who's let his teammates down, he's let all the supporters in this stadium down, certainly the green and white ones.
I don't know if he was thinking about it, but the head management team will be kicking themselves.
They should have taken him off. Yeah, it's right in front of them. They've seen he's lost the plot. He's also getting very tired. That's why in that instance he's pulling. He's thrown his arm out and caught him on the side of the face.
Even his first book, you said it was lazy. He didn't have to do it.
I think his legs are starting to go.
Yeah, I just...
Still hanging about, eh?
I have to say, there's plenty of hindsight in football and wise after the event, but we've said it.
Well, we could see it coming up here, couldn't we?
Yeah,
every time the ball.
I wasn't sure after the tackle, but then after what happened, he was pushing McCausland and the physio going off. I'm thinking, all right, do it now. But they still never did it, and they suffered the consequences.
I should have seen that, the management team.
Yeah, it's these decisions that can be so big in games, and Hibs, albeit we've said it, they haven't created a huge amount in terms of clear-cut chances. Only really the free kick from Marcondes that Butland had to push away. But they've been well in this game. Rangers haven't been too strong in this second half, and now they've gifted the initiative to the opposition just by carelessness and a lack of discipline.
Well, Hibs have been the better team in the second half without creating any clear-cut chances. Rangers have looked a little bit leggy and struggling, but now you'd imagine Rangers with extra man, they'll make the pitch big, they'll just start popping the ball about and making Hibs chase it.
And Tavernier is preparing to deliver, and he plays it down the line, and Ravi Matondo uses his pace and he fires it into a dangerous area right in the 6-yard box, and Roof wasn't far away, but Marshall collects.
Yeah, it was quick thinking, wasn't it, when they played Matondo in, and it's not a bad area, maybe needing Roof to get across the front post.
Yeah, go out short to Fish, and we'll see if there's any tactical adjustments here from Hibs bench, given they're now down to 10 players. Jordan Obita dismissed for 2 yellow cards, and now Triantis under pressure, and Rangers choosing their moment to press a bit higher as Maelida gives it to Newell on the left touchline in his own half. He looks for the return in the air to Maelida, but Rangers intercept. But here comes Newell, driving forward, runs into traffic, dispossessed by Lundstrom, and then that's
there's another one.
Big tackle, and now Mariah Welsh is gone, and Hibs are down to 9, and Hibs have lost the plot.
No, I think that's a wrong decision from the referee, from where I'm sitting. It's aggressive. He's went for it, but I don't think it's a red.
Do you know why it is though? His 2 feet are off the ground. He's crazy. We can see it. I don't think there's much contact as what you think, but he's definitely caught him. I think, is it Lundstrom that's down? He's making the most of it. But doesn't matter. He is wild there with the challenge. I'm a wee bit in disagreement, John. I think he's given the referee the option, but by the way, he was going to his back pocket.
I've never seen a referee go in his pocket as quick in my life.
But it's just that the rules now, excessive force or brutality, that's the kind of thing you're endangering the opponent, and when you come in at that pace, you're two-footed, he comes across and just totally wipes Lundstrom out. He doesn't get the ball.
You said powder keg. It's happened minutes later. You can feel it. They're having a look at it, John said, but it's just it's more his actions than anything. It was crazy stuff from Mariah Welsh. I'm not saying he's got him all in and he's caught him. It's not it's minimal contact, but the actual the speed of it, the 2 feet off the ground was mental.
Yeah, it's been checked, of course. The VAR having a second look, but I'd be staggered. I mean, the whole thing with VAR is it a clear and obvious error? You know, and well, we're about to find out. Stephen Kirkland is the video assistant referee. He'll be poring over the replays back in Baillieston, VAR HQ, and we'll see what comes out. Referee Steve McLean has finger to his ear, as you said, guys. He was straight out with the card, straight across. But I think when a player comes in at such pace, that's almost the referee's first instinct. And we're trying to get a craning over some colleagues' shoulders here to see if we can get a look at a replay.
I think he's got the ball and the foot maybe in the follow through.
Yeah. It's going to be, well, if Hibs go down to 9,
he's off. Correct decision.
And the red card stands, and Hibs Scottish Cup semi-final hopes are hanging by the thinnest of threads. 1-0 down, and they've had 2 sendings off in the space of a couple of minutes, and both of them are just needless. They've lost their heads. And now there's a yellow card brandished to one of the Hibs staff as well.
It's not a, John, you know, it's not a sending off in olden days. For me, it's a sending off in modern football. I was like, oh no, don't go into. My first thinking, you're talking about referees' instinct, was don't go into that, don't rush into that, son, and he did. And I'm like,
when you go to ground, modern football, when you go to ground, you slide in at a high tempo, more often than not it's a red.
And that's given away by Rangers. Marcondes goes after it, but Rangers, a goal to the good of post, they'll want to kill this off, but they just need to wait for Hibs to almost move and press and then try and find the space, and that's what they've done here as Tavernier tries to thread it through for Roof, but it's intercepted. Bushiri to Marcondes, and now suddenly Hibs have a chance here in the box. It's Maelida. Can he work it onto the right foot? He just misses the ball completely, caught in 2 minds, and Lundstrom gives it to Matondo, who's going to open up his legs, and then Bushiri comes across and smashes it out for a throw-in. It's all happening at Easter Road. 1-0 Rangers against 9-man Hibs.
There could be more red cards here. What I'm seeing just now. Hibs have got to stay calm.
We feel it today. We felt it when Abita gets sent off. The word was powder keg. It was just. There was something about today with the atmosphere, everything, some of the tackles that were going in, some of the mistakes being made. It was just in for a crazy weekend of football.
Still 1-0, still in it. It's going to be difficult, but you're still in it at 1-0. But everybody has to work extra hard.
Here's Lawrence into the box, charged down by Fish, who gets it back. And it's Triantis intercepted by Yilmaz, gives it to Silva's in the box, left-hand side of the area, puts it across, Newell's there to clear. Yuan leaves it to Fish, who clears it up the park. Yeah, trying to think, the last time I saw 9 men back into the game, was it Rangers in that cup final, League Cup final against St Mirren all those years ago, and went on to win the trophy as it's fired in, and by Rangers from the left, and Marshall collects and rolls it out to Maelida, jinks inside, and then a tackle comes across from Lawrence, breaks for Maelida, and there's still space for Hibs as they drive forward, but isolated, and Lundstrom mops up. And here goes Matondo over halfway into Diamonde. It's in the centre circle, no one near it. I think if Rangers didn't have as heavy legs, they'd be perhaps looking to up the tempo a bit, but they look tired.
They just have to keep the ball moving, Rangers, keep it moving, 1 and 2 touch. Hibs point of view, a lot of tired looking players there. Chris Carden's been out for a long time. He'll be absolutely goosed. Bushiri's looking really heavy legged. Triantis has never played middle of the park, so it's going to be a tough 15 minutes.
Yeah. Going a 4-3-1, aren't they? Just try to sit in there, but they can't get any pressure on the ball high up when they're doing that.
Played 76 and a half minutes. Rangers still 1 to the good and 2 men to the good as the cross comes in, and Fish deals with it just about, falls for Lawrence, touching the edge of the box, it's behind him, and he's under pressure from Triantis. Nudges it to Tavernier, gives it to Diamonde. Chips, scoops it in with the left foot, but Roof hadn't made the run, and it's straight into Marshall's waiting arms.
Hibs need some substitutes as well on the pitch, fresh legs, otherwise they're going to get injuries.
Another Rangers change coming, Kevin.
Yeah, the fresh legs are going to be wearing blue. It's Cole McKinnon and Nico Raskan both coming on for Rangers, who are a goal up and now playing against 9 men, so that's the last thing you would think the Hibs fans and the Hibs players want to.
Well, even if Hibs were to somehow get level, they really need another to avoid another half an hour with 9 men. It is a mountainous task. As Tavernier heads it up in the air, Marcondes collects, he's given it to Yuan, middle of the pitch, he's up to the edge of the box, and he's given it to Marcondes, trying to get the shot away. Marcondes tries to go round Goldson, who screams at his teammates as he gets the foot in and makes the challenge. Rangers just a wee bit asleep at times at the back, and it's launched in behind, and Roof's going to go after it. He's going to get there, right hand side. Bushiri comes across, it's Kamar Roof, he's got Diamonde and Silva in the area, and here's Matondo. Back to Tavernier. Infield to Lawrence, towards the edge of the Hibs box. And Yuan shirks a challenge, and it's allowed. Lawrence through it, gets it back from Silva, shifts it back to Silva, left corner of the box. Silva's trying to take on 2 Hibs players, gives it to Lawrence, who's going to chip it to the back post, but it's headed away. Here's Tavernier for Matondo, who's going to cross it from the right into a dangerous area. Roof can't get hold of it. It falls for Diamonde, who slashes it wide of the post.
It sat up nicely for him. I thought it should be hitting the target there. You'd have buried that, don't you?
Neil did enough though, didn't he? He saw him coming, and he just wouldn't sit down. It was enough to get it on target, John, you're right. Just make sure you get the body shape over it, even strike into the ground, but he just leant back, the ball was gone. But I think it was all down to Joe Newell putting that pressure on at a vital moment.
Here comes Nico Raskan and Cole McKinnon, who came off the bench in Lisbon at the Estádio da Luz for a few minutes. The youngster, midfielder on loan at Partick Thistle last season, and a good campaign with them. Getting some minutes in the Rangers first team. And here comes Tom Lawrence, who makes way for Raskan. And he's maybe not had as much game time as one might have expected in recent weeks. Here goes McKinnon onto the park. 9 minutes left, plus stoppage time for 9-man Hibs to try and find a miracle goal here against Rangers, who lead by 1-0. Marshall goes long. Forwards towards Marcondes, Goldson's header. Fish gets it away from Roof, and then it's played back into Roof's path. Silva's on the overlap. McKinnon's made the run. Here's Silva on the right foot, blocked by Cadden. Back to Silva and blocked again by the recovering Will Fish, behind for a corner.
Again, it was terrific defending from Cadden. Rangers broken him, and he never stayed square. He gave himself depth. It meant he could get across and timed it really well.
Yeah, he could do the 2v1 situation. Yep. That's exactly, and he bought himself time. But for me, once Roof draws him and gives him it, I think Silva's got to then hit it first time, but he takes a touch, and brilliant from Cadden to get back.
And Hibs are going to make a change here. They're going to be allowed to make it before the corner or not. It's Dylan Levitt who's down below us, but I think we're going to have this corner first from Tavernier, who's gesturing for his teammates to pile into the 6-yard area. And he's ready to take now, the Rangers captain, and he's floated it back. It was a dummy for Lundstrom on the volley. Didn't get properly a hold of it, and then that looked like it hit off his hand, and then he strikes with the left foot miles wide of the target. Still 1-0 Rangers. And it looks like Levitt is coming on. Kennedy.
Levitt coming on. Nick Triantis, who's put a good shift in for Hibs. He's played well as a holding midfielder. He must be pretty much knackered just now. Off he comes, and Levitt comes on for the last few minutes.
He played very well. He's a good football player. Good signing for Hibs.
Yeah, it's interesting. You might see more of him in there from now on in certain games. And he got a good standing ovation from a few of the Hibs fans around about us, appreciating what they've seen. And it's long off the head of Raskan. Matondo smashes it into the Edinburgh sky, and it's almost lands on the roof of the Hibs dugout. Bashiri wants to get on with it. And the ball's up the line. Newell, Tavernier hooks it away. Lundstrom with a header, back into the box, and Butland comes out, and he does well. Takes a wee bump off Marcondes for his troubles, Jack Butland, and then rolls it to the feet of John Souttar, and on we go. Rangers will really want to be doing with getting this second goal to just kill this game off once and for all. They're playing 9 men after all, and it's forward. Bashiri and intercepts. Goes from Matondo. Raskan gets it back from Lundstrom. Here is the Belgian along the grass to Yilmaz. Receives it again. Goldson in the centre circle, and it looks a lot of tired legs out there now. Hibs shuffling from side to side.
Yeah, Rangers don't have to go forward, they just need to keep the ball, make the pitch big, suck Hibs out. 2 extra men.
Just try to think about a way that maybe get Hibs 2 up front, even just to leave it a man for man with the 2 centre halves, but maybe go 3 at the back, but that would mean man for man, and you're giving up your wide areas. Joe Newell's gone to left back now, keeping that back 4. It's difficult.
Maybe the last 5 minutes they'll try something.
We all want to see a centre back up top, Rocky Bashiri perhaps. Here's Lundstrom, threads it to Silva on the edge of the box. Good touch, brilliant from Silva, and he buries it! And Rangers have killed this tie now! It's wonderful stuff from Fabio Silva. That will be that. Rangers can book their ticket for Hampden. It is 9-man Hibernian 0, Rangers 2.
No surprise, Hibs stretched. Rangers popping it about, comes to Silva. We all know he likes to come in on that right side. He just passed it in the bottom corner. Cool as you like. Good finish. Hard finale for Hibs.
It's a little reverse. They show that patience and they just pick away at you. They hit the right pass, but he's still got plenty to do. When he takes it, he just turns. He looks as if he's going to slot it, but he reverses it on just to the goalkeeper's right, and it's game over. It's tough for Hibs. It really has been for the last 5-10 minutes. Leggy can't get up the park now. Rangers punish them.
Third Rangers goal for the Wolves loanee Fabio Silva, scored at Ibrox in the last round against Ayr United, and he's surely buried Hibs' hopes of a 4th Scottish Cup triumph and plenty of a green and white persuasion. Head for the exits, and you have to say Hibernian have caused all their own grief in this game. The poor pass and then penalty given away cheaply by Obita in the first half, and then the reckless discipline issues in the second, which has seen them go down to 9 men in the space of 3 minutes. And finally Rangers just bided their time, and Silva has surely put this well beyond Hibernian, who were up against it even with 11 on the park and 1 goal down. And it's the Rangers fans singing, and they'll be on their way to Hampden once more. Their hopes of a domestic treble still very much alive. Of course, overtaken on trebles by Celtic last season. They'll be desperate to draw back level on 8. As here's Yilmaz on the left-hand side. Good cross in. Newell's header away. Bounces for Raskan. Blocked by Levitt. Marcondes gives it infield, and Levitt goes down, gets the free kick. And Hibs, well,
just that little layoff from Marcondes, quality, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, just there's not many Hibs meant to spot, but just to spot the reverse.
Cushions it in.
And Rocky Bashiri is another one who looks like he's on the edge, shall we say, as he has a little shove after that foul. And there's a couple of Hibs changes, Kennedy.
Yeah, Mayenda coming on for the last few minutes, and Jair Tavares as well, with Hibs' tired bodies heading for a much needed sit down beside me here in the dugouts.
Yeah, as I say, they've given it everything, Hibernian, but only really have themselves to blame, as Rangers have been professional. And we're into the final 5 of the 90 as Rangers get the throw in. Tavernier to the feet of Connor Goldson, and Philippe Clement's revolution really at Rangers this season, still well on track. This is 31st game in charge, still only lost 2 of them. They've scored in all but one of them. It's the 29th game in a row they've scored in under the Belgian. They are top of the league, League Cup in the bag, heading for the semis of the Scottish Cup. And still, of course, right in it in the Europa League as well. It could be a truly memorable season for them. Still so much work to do, of course. And Celtic and others will have something to say about it inevitably. And it's now very much training exercise as Lundstrom wanders slowly over halfway, and then a little ball around the corner to Yilmaz up to the left of the Hibs box. His cross is weak and Fish gets something on it, and then Cadden just about prevents the corner with a swipe out for a throw-in on the far side. 3 minutes to go, plus whatever is added. Rangers 2-0 up, joining Aberdeen and Celtic in the last 4. Will it be Greenock Morton or will it be Hearts? That's the question. Tomorrow night you can listen to that live on Sportsound. You can watch it on Sports Scene on the BBC Scotland channel. Sports on air from 7:30 for the TV coverage, which you can obviously get right player on the website as well. Here's Tavernier, and he moves it in on, thought about the shot on his left, but gives it to Lundstrom, over to Yilmaz, then to Silva, into Tavernier, back to Lundstrom. Rangers just knocking it about, first time passes. Silva, such a tidy player. Tavernier, Lundstrom, back to Suter. Here's Silva. Tavernier, and he hits the referee Stephen McLean, and still has it for Rangers, and it's in behind for Roof, left hand side of the box, takes it to the byline, tries to cut it back, and Will Fish makes the block, and it's a Rangers corner on the far side.
Yeah, just keep the ball, pick the right passes, then get the moment to get into the box, drive, try for the cutback, Roof, but well blocked away. Hibs still giving everything just to defend, to not lose another goal.
Well, I'm sure Hibs will be delighted to hear that there's 5 added minutes at the end of this game coming. Still not quite hit the 90 yet though. Here is Yilmaz from deep with a cross. Raskan's in there, gets a head on it, and David Marshall had to stretch every sinew to claim it, but claim it he did.
He took it nice and cleanly. I think the question now is, can he just keep the ball, try and keep it for a little while? It's difficult. Rangers are up pressing them now. They're just going to launch it up the pitch. David Marshall, no doubt Rangers are going to win it.
Marshall will just thump this long. It's meat and drink for John Suter, who heads it back, and it's eerily quiet until the Rangers fans sing up as Easter Road's, the home sections, begin to empty. And here comes Raskan, and Levitt wins it off him, gives it to Tavares, back to Levitt. Here's Will Fish, 30 seconds in the 90 remaining. It's 2 down and 2 men down. Here's Youan, controls it nicely, but he's not got anywhere to go really, and forced back, gives it to Levitt just inside the Rangers half, spins away from Roof, backwards to Fish, and then goes back to the goalkeeper, and you can just see Hibs have nothing left really. Marshall urging everyone forwards. He's going to go long with the right boot up towards Mayenda, and then it's prodded by Matondo to Raskan, and he shrugged off it by Elisir Mayenda. It's wide to Silva for Rangers. Can they get a third as we're into the 5 added minutes now? Yilmaz on the left hand side goes all the way back for Lundstrom. Silva drops in, but Lundstrom threads it through on the left hand side for Yilmaz, looks to cut it back. Roof was in there, but it cannons off a Hibs player and breaks for Youan. who swipes it long, and then there's a belated flag up for offside there. Hibs will get the free kick, but I think John Collins, the feeling from Hibernian when they analyse this game will be one of regret, really.
Without a shadow of a doubt. I think up until the first sending off, there's not a lot in the game. Hibs have played well in general play. They've pressed Rangers when it's been on. They've had some good opportunities to get better balls in the box. That's the disappointing thing, is the final ball, but the attitude and the spirit's been good. They've passed it well. Marcondes has played well, but stupidity. Player getting sent off, leaving his teammates 1-0 down against a good Rangers team. Stupidity. The manager will be so disappointed with Abita. He's an experienced player. He's booked. He's got to calm down. Instead, he's acted like a young player.
It would have been really interesting if they kept their full team on the pitch, Hibs. I don't think it would have been as straightforward. I know saying that against 8 outfield players, but there were just something in the game that Hibs are going to have a go at some point.
Here comes Silva towards the edge of the Hibs box, and he's got some company with Yilmaz. Shot blocked again. That's Will Fish who goes across, and Tavernier wins it, and then he goes down right on the edge, fouled, and he'll fancy his chances when he gets to his feet, maybe popping this in.
You know, that's a couple of times Johans, he's got to be winning those 50-50 targets. About 3 times today he's been in positions where he's got to go in for the 50-50, and he's pulled out of it. The manager's got to see that and be showing him that tomorrow.
Especially when they're two men to the light. I mean, it's incredible. And I'll tell you what, never mind Johan Fish, he's been brilliant, hasn't he?
Yeah, outstanding.
Just in terms of physicality, timing of the tackle, good positioning, and then there again he blocks the Yilmaz shot, probably to stop Rangers going 3 up. He's been different class, Fish.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to be Jordan Abita in the Hibs dressing room in a few minutes time. And Rangers have a free kick just outside the D. Yilmaz is over it, but Tavernier is surely going to hit this with the right foot. He's scored a couple this season already. Of course, he had his penalty saved in the first half, but it didn't matter because John Lundstrom buried the rebound, and here is Tavernier with the right foot into the wall, comes back to him on the volley, and then it hits off Silva, who was surely offside. It's touched in by Cole McKinnon, and the ball's in the back of the net. Flag goes up, and yeah, I think Raskan looked well off, or Silva, sorry, looked well offside.
He was, and should have maybe tried to get out the way. Probably was, hit his arm, but if he wasn't there, it would have been definitely testing Marshall, the Tavernier volley.
And they've played 3 minutes 20 seconds of the 5 added, and I think Hibs just want the full-time whistle now. Rangers, such a big end to the season to come. Benfica return, which you can listen to live on Sportsman on Thursday from Ibrox. Dundee away, Hibs home to come in the league. Celtic at home on April the 7th, massive game that one, and then Ross County away before the split. And they'll have a Scottish Cup semi-final weekend 21st of April, and perhaps a Europa League quarter-final amidst that as well. And another offside flag goes up. I think it's Kamar Roof this time. A huge end to the season for them. Hibs got to pick themselves up because they're away to Ross County on Wednesday night in the league. Need to try and get themselves in the top 6 where they are at the moment, but not by much, and they need to finish the season strongly. But obviously 2 red cards this evening, not doing, and also Boyle's injury not doing their availability, their squad list any benefits. As here's Lundstrom in the centre circle, and he's just going to run. He's going to head for the corner flag, John Lundstrom. Cadden blocks his path into Silva. Down the line for Kamar Roof on the left touchline. Opens the legs up, goes for the edge of the box. Cadden blocks his path, little dummy from Roof. Kamar Roof still got it in the box, looking for the shooting angle, goes onto the left foot, floats it to the back post. It's over Cole McKinnon. Matondo collects. Can Rangers add a 3rd goal? And he's blocked by Newell. Again, he's put in a great shift. And tackle, and then Yuan, and Raskan tackles Yuan, but it goes out for a throw-in on this near side, and I make that time up, and so does the referee Stephen McLean. And the Rangers' hopes of a domestic clean sweep are very much alive. Perhaps they dare to dream even of a quadruple, still in the Europa League as well. And in the end, it finished comfortably. But Hibs will rue the fact that they took out the detonator and blew their own chances in the second half. Yes, they were already a goal down, at half-time after Tavernier's penalty was saved, and then Lundstrom followed up the rebound. That gave Rangers the lead, but Hibs started the second half pretty well. Yes, they didn't test Jack Butland too much, just really Emiliano Marcondes' free kick, which was pushed away by the Rangers keeper. But then Jordan Abita, whose head just seemed to go, he made the mistake and gave away the penalty in the first half, fouling Dujon Sterling, and he just never really recovered. He was already booked. He then tried to haul Ross McCausland off the park, was lucky to not get a second yellow for that, and then a flailing arm caught a Rangers player in the face and he was dismissed. Rangers were down to 10, and then just 3 minutes later, Nathan Mariah-Walsh just flies needlessly into a challenge just about the halfway line on John Lundstrom. Stephen McLean straight out with a red card, and realistically that ended Hibs' hopes of a comeback, even though it was only 1-0 at that stage, and Rangers just stayed professional, kept the ball as best they could, and eventually Fabio Silva stroked in the second goal with 7 minutes left, and from then it was really a training session for Philippe Clement's sides as the Rangers players go across to applaud their travelling fans. They sense a special end to the season could be in the offing. They march on to Hampden, they join Aberdeen and Celtic in the hat. Hibs applaud the fans who are left, but they only really have themselves to blame that their chance of a trophy is gone for another season. Full time at Easter Road in the Scottish Cup quarter final. It finished 9-man Hibernian 0, Rangers 2.